My child, listen to me. What you're about to hear is not a suggestion. It is a summons. I have waited for the exact second your eyes met this screen, because this is bigger than you realize. Bigger than the storm you just survived. Bigger than the question you keep asking. Bigger than what you think is possible. This isn't just a word. It's a wake-up call. A divine confrontation wrapped in fire and love. And if you walk away now, you'll miss the one thing I designed to break your delay wide open. So lean in. Watch every second. Listen with your spirit, not just your ears. I'm about to reveal why the pressure has been relentless, why the silence has been loud, and why everything is about to shift. My beloved child, I need you to be still in this very moment. Not distracted, not rushing, not glancing past these words as though they were ordinary. This is no ordinary message, and you are no ordinary person to me. I have summoned heaven's attention toward you right now because something sacred is unfolding beneath the surface of your life. Something so vast and so intentional that your natural sight cannot yet comprehend it. You have been looking at your days as if they were scattered fragments, trying to piece together meaning, questioning why certain delays came, why certain doors closed, why the silence seemed unending. But hear me, child. While you saw fragments, I have always seen the masterpiece. I have been weaving threads through the unseen, aligning moments, even orchestrating detours that felt like setbacks, but were in truth sacred redirections leading you into alignment with destiny. You cannot yet see the full tapestry because I am still weaving it, but I assure you, what I am doing in your life right now is far greater than what your eyes could ever measure. This is not just about your comfort or relief. It is about your transformation, your calling, and the impact that will ripple out from your obedience into lives you do not even know yet. My movements are precise, my timing deliberate, my intention unstoppable. Every sigh, every tear, every whispered prayer you thought dissolved into nothing. I caught them, I treasured them, and I used them as raw material to build a future far beyond what you are imagining in this moment. My beloved, I am not asking you to see it all. I am asking you to trust that I see it all. What I am building cannot fit within the small frame of your current understanding. That is why I tell you now, stop, breathe, listen, and know that my hand is moving on a scale far greater than you realize. Child, lean in closer, because I want you to feel the weight of what I am saying. You are not walking through random seasons. You are walking through divine construction zones where heaven itself is shaping you for glory. The unanswered questions, the closed doors, the long nights when silence pressed against your chest, none of them were wasted. In fact, every one of them has been part of the blueprint I designed for your life before you even took your first breath. I have been working with intentionality, not just to bless you, but to expand you, to stretch your faith, to deepen your roots, to sharpen your vision, so that when I unveil what I am preparing, you will not only see it but carry it with strength. Understand this, what is happening is not small, it is not temporary, and it is not fragile. It is eternal. It is bigger than your career, bigger than your family, bigger than your dreams. It is about kingdom purpose written into your DNA. I know that from your perspective, it feels like you are standing in the middle of uncertainty, but from my throne, I see convergence, I see completion, I see fulfillment drawing near. You are walking inside a story that heaven has already finished writing. The ending is not in question. The promise is not at risk. Your destiny is not slipping through your fingers. What I am doing in your life is greater than the opposition, greater than the delays, greater than the disappointments. And though you cannot see the full picture yet, you can feel the tremors in your spirit, that quiet stirring, that holy unrest, that subtle quickening. That is my whisper telling you that what I am building is larger than your perception. My beloved, trust this. Your eyes cannot yet see it, but your spirit already knows it. And soon, the veil will lift, and you will realize this was always bigger than you thought. My precious child, pause and let these words pierce deeper than your weariness. You have been counting the days by battles, measuring your worth by wounds, and weighing your journey by the heaviness of hardship. Every valley has seemed like a verdict. Every setback has felt like a sentence. You've replayed the pain as if it were the proof of who you are, and you've begun to think your story is written in struggles. But hear me, beloved, heaven did not measure as men measure. While you've been numbering your scars, I've been multiplying your strength. While you've been cataloging your failures, I've been carving your faith into eternity. You see bruises, I see beauty. You see battles, I see breakthrough. You see delays, I see design. My scale is not weighted by pain endured, but by glory revealed. When you thought the fight defined you, I was using the fight to refine you. You thought the war was winning over you, but the war was working within you, sculpting something eternal that cannot be broken, cannot be stolen, cannot be diminished. Your journey is not defined by the blows you took, but by the blessing you carry, and that blessing is building into something weighty, something wondrous, something wider than your imagination can stretch. Let me show you the contrast. The world says, you are only as strong as the scars you bear. But I say you are only as glorious as the grace I pour upon you. This is not exaggeration. This is exaltation. When heaven looks at you, we do not see the record of your battles. We see the radiance of your becoming. Every fight you endured was fertilizer for favor. Every storm that drenched you was washing you for the unveiling. You saw only resistance, but I saw rehearsal. You thought you were losing, but I was layering strength inside your soul. You assumed you were being diminished, but I was preparing you for dominion. Can you not feel it? Even now, as you listen, your spirit is stirring with recognition. The weight of my glory is greater than the weight of your grief. And soon, the heaviness of heaven will outweigh the heaviness of hardship. I did not allow the battles to break you. I allowed them to brand you with evidence of endurance. And that endurance has now positioned you for revelation. Beloved, I do not weigh your life by the wars you survive. I weigh it by the glory that will be revealed, and what I see over you is magnificent. You need to understand this. When you measure yourself by battles, you chain yourself to survival. But when I measure you by glory, I launch you into revival. Do not misinterpret your own timeline. The war was never the conclusion. It was the construction. I was building muscle into your spirit, memory into your prayers, maturity into your obedience. Every moment you lifted your eyes while the weight pressed down, I recorded it as worship. Every time you whispered yes when it hurt, I sealed it as sacred. Not one sigh was wasted. Not one step was unseen. My beloved, your journey hath been glory hidden, not glory lost. And now, that hidden glory is about to burst forth, larger, louder, and more lasting than any battle you ever endured. Soon the same lips that spoke lies over you will be silenced by the shine I place upon you. Soon the same eyes that doubted you will watch me deliver through you. For I am not measuring the ashes you are standing on. I am measuring the beauty rising from them. And this, beloved, is bigger than you realize. My beloved child, lean into my voice, because what I am about to reveal explains the mystery of your suffering. You have wondered why the battle was so relentless, why the pressure was so crushing, why the warfare circled you like wolves in the night. And here is the truth. The opposition was not random, it was proportionate. The heaviness of your fight is not evidence of abandonment. It is evidence of assignment. Hell does not war against the ordinary. Acts does not target the insignificant. The size of your struggle has been a reflection of the size of your destiny. That is why the resistance hath been fierce, because the release will be even fiercer. The enemy has been raging not because you are weak, but because you are weighty. He saw glimpses of the glory I planted inside you before you even knew it was there, and he trembled. That is why confusion increased, why distractions multiplied, why despair crept in. It was not coincidence. It was confirmation. You are carrying something heavier than you realize, and the battle has been about breaking your confidence before you discover the fullness of your call. But hear me, child. I will not let the weight crush you. I am the God who strengthens shoulders to carry destiny. I am the Father who fortifies hearts to bear heaven's glory. The warfare may have felt unbearable, but the truth is you were unbreakable. Look at the contrast, child. The enemy tried to make the warfare feel like a curse, but I was shaping it into a crown. He exaggerated his threats, but I magnified your triumph. You thought you were drowning under weight, but really you were being trained to walk in authority. Just as pressure forms diamonds, just as crushing releases oil, so too has this warfare been refining your purpose. The pain you felt was not punishment, it was preparation. The heaviness was not evidence of your failure, it was evidence of your future. When you felt like giving up, I was strengthening your grip. When you felt like disappearing, I was writing your name in eternal ink. You see, beloved, the warfare has been fierce because your destiny is ferocious. The greater the calling, the greater the convict. And your calling is not small. It is seismic. It shakes atmospheres. It unsettles darkness. It writes generational stories. That is why the enemy was relentless. That is why the storms were unending. Because what you carry is unstoppable, and he could not silence it, only attempt to suffocate it. Beloved, I need you to see yourself through my eyes. You are not a victim of warfare. You are a vessel of wonder. The weight of your destiny is greater than the blows of your enemy. You may feel cracked, but you are not crushed. You may feel bent, but you are not broken. You may feel weary, but you are still walking. And every step you take under pressure is proof of your perseverance. Heaven has watched you hold the line when your hands trembled. Angels have recorded your tears as testimony. And I, your God, have guarded your destiny with a fierceness the enemy cannot touch. The weight you feel is not to destroy you. It is to remind you that you are carrying something divine. And soon, when I unveil the fullness of what I placed inside you, you will look back and realize the warfare was never wasted. It was proportionate. It was prophetic. It was proof. And child, hear me clearly. The glory about to emerge will make every battle bow. My beloved child, let me unravel the mystery of my silence. You mistook my stillness for distance, my quiet for absence, my delay for denial. Yet hear me now. My silence was not abandonment. It was alignment. When the skies seemed shut, when your prayers echoed back unanswered, when your heart grew restless under the weight of waiting, I was not ignoring you. I was integrating threads too intricate for your eyes to yet perceive. I was orchestrating a symphony too sacred for your ears to comprehend in fragments. If I had spoken then, the weight of revelation would have crushed your spirit instead of carrying you forward. If I had explained prematurely, the details would have distracted you from the destiny. Silence was not neglect. It was strategy. I chose stillness to shield you from what you weren't ready to steward. I withheld the unveiling, not because I did not care, but because I cared too much to let you crumble under premature exposure. Beloved, you thought I was doing nothing, but I was doing more in silence than you could imagine in sound. My silence was saturated with sovereignty. My quiet was judged with construction. Every unspoken answer was a blueprint, every delay a design, every pause a preparation. Consider this, child. The womb is silent while it forms life. The soil is silent while it grows seed. The night is silent while it births dawn. Silence is not a void, it is a vessel. You thought I was absent, but I was active. You thought I had moved away, but I had moved ahead. I was setting the stage for breakthroughs too brilliant to announce early. Imagine if I had answered your prayer the moment you asked, without timing, without structure, without foundation. The blessing would have broken you. The promise would have perished. That is why I waited, why I wove silence into your season. Because I was stretching your capacity, sharpening your ears, teaching you to trust presence over proof. Beloved, silence was not punishment. It was proof of preparation. For when the silence breaks, it will not be with a whisper, but with a roar. When I speak next, it will shake what silence once concealed. And the magnitude of what I reveal will silence every lie you once believed about my absence. Child, let this sink in. My silence hath been holy strategy. It stripped away the noise of others, silenced the voices of distraction, and brought you into a sacred stillness where my whisper became unmistakable. Others may not understand why you waited, but heaven knows why. I was not late. I was layering your life with alignment. And when the unveiling comes, you will not only thank me for the miracle, you will thank me for the silence that prepared you to receive it. You feared I had left you, but now you will see I was closer in silence than I was in speech. For my quiet was not the absence of activity, it was the abundance of orchestration. And soon, child, very soon, you will realize I was not absent in silence. I was authoring your story in sovereign secrecy. My beloved, let me draw back the curtain just enough for you to glimpse what I've been doing. You've been staring at pieces, shattered dreams, scattered days, moments of meaning that felt disjointed. You've been looking at fragments, and fragments are frustrating. They confuse you because they feel incomplete. You saw broken pieces and thought they were proof of failure. You saw scattered steps and assumed you were off course. But hear me, the fragments you hold are not the full picture I'm painting. They are brushstrokes in a masterpiece that only I can see in completion. When you hold one shard, you mourn what was broken. But when I hold all of them, I see the stained glass I am shaping from the shattered. The pieces do not make sense on the floor, but they will glow with beauty when placed together in the frame of my purpose. Beloved, you thought fragments meant futility, but fragments mean foundation. Every piece matters. Every broken edge is being fitted into something breathtaking. You see the contrast. You mourn the moments, but I'm weaving the meaning. You counted loss, but I'm writing legacy. You held fragments, but I've been holding fullness. You thought you saw the whole, but you only glimpsed a glimpse, a sliver of the story. You couldn't see the hidden strokes, the unseen connections, the lines drawn in eternity that stretch beyond your lifetime. But I could. I am the author who never loses the plot, the painter who never misuses a stroke, the builder who never wastes a brick. You've been holding a puzzle piece, while I've been constructing the picture. And child, when the unveiling comes, you will gasp in awe, because the fragments that looked meaningless in your hands will glow with magnificence in mine. You thought the broken made you less, but I say the broken has made you more. For it is through fragments that I prove my faithfulness. It is through pieces that I reveal my precision. Beloved, do not despise the fragments. They are proof that I am still forming, The broken seasons, the unfinished prayers, the unanswered questions, they are not the end. They are mid-sentence pauses in a story still being written. You wanted a conclusion, but I was crafting a continuation. You wanted a finished chapter, but I was preparing a greater volume. Do not settle for despair over fragments when I am the God of fullness. For soon I will gather the pieces, fit them together, and reveal a picture more beautiful than you dared believe. And when you see it, you will understand that nothing was wasted, not the tears, not the trials, not the waiting. Everything had purpose. Everything was part of the painting. And beloved, you will realize fragments are not failure. They are faith in formation. My beloved child, lean closer, because I need you to feel the sacred weight of every tear you thought went unnoticed. I counted them all. Heaven recorded them like diamonds, bottled them like treasure, cherished them like prayers. You thought your tears were signs of weakness, but in truth, they were seeds of greatness. Each drop that fell in the night-watered soil you could not see. Each silent sob nourished promises buried deep beneath the surface of your story. You believed your weeping was wasted, but I tell you now, it was work. Work in the unseen. Work in the eternal. Work in the future. You may have thought your tears dissolved into nothing, but in heaven, they built foundations for a harvest you will soon step into. Understand this. Your tears did not vanish. They traveled. They seeped into the soil of destiny, flowing beyond your present pain into fields that stretch across generations. Your children's children will eat fruit from trees your tears watered. Whole lineages will rise healed because you were willing to cry in faith rather than collapse in despair. Beloved, your tears were not evidence of defeat. They were evidence of devotion. You see the contrast? The enemy whispered, "Your tears mean you're finished." But I declare, your tears mean you're fertile. He told you weeping was weakness, but I say it was worship. He mocked your breaking, but I used it as birthing. Every sob was a seed, every sigh a sowing, every ache an altar. You didn't know it, but while you were weeping, I was watering. While you were breaking, I was building. While you were collapsing, I was cultivating. Beloved, tears are powerful because they fall where words cannot reach. They carry weight when language fails. They reach me when prayers feel empty. Your tears were not wasted. They were prophetic irrigation, soaking the ground of promises that will outlive you. I will make sure your tears speak louder than your trials. I will make sure the harvest they watered rises taller than the pain that produced them. And when you stand in that harvest, you will look back and see that no cry was ever ignored, no ache ever abandoned, no night ever unnoticed. Beloved, I want you to feel hope again when tears fall. Let them remind you not of loss, but of life being sown. The ground that looked barren is pregnant with promise because you watered it with trust. The prayers you prayed with trembling lips have built altars that will still echo when your name is a whisper in the earth. Your obedience in tears has forged inheritance in spirit. I am writing a generational story with your devotion as its ink. And when the fruit comes forth, when the harvest bursts open, when the promises bloom into fullness, you will realize it was never just about you. It was about them. It was about legacy. It was about eternity. And child, hear me with trembling joy. Not one tear was wasted. Not one drop was lost. They all meant to work. And now, the ground you cried over will bloom with glory, laughter, and life for generations. My beloved, I need you to understand the magnitude of what I've placed inside you. The weight you feel pressing against your spirit, the burden that will not let you go, the stirring that keeps you awake at night. It is not only about your story. What you carry is not confined to your lifetime. It is a river that will flow beyond you, touching souls, igniting destinies, awakening hearts you have never seen with your own eyes. You have been looking at your life as though it ends with you, but I am telling you, it extends far beyond you. The gift I placed inside you was never meant to be kept. It was meant to be poured. You are not carrying a blessing only for yourself. You are carrying breakthrough for others. People you don't know yet are depending on your perseverance. Whole families you'll never meet will find healing through your obedience. Nations will shift because of seeds you planted in quiet faith. What you carry is bigger than you, wider than your reach, deeper than your understanding. That's why the burden has felt heavy. It's not a private calling. It's a public legacy. You see the pattern, child. You wanted the weight to lift, but I allowed it to remain because it anchors you to purpose. You thought the calling was crushing you, but it was actually cradling countless others through you. When you rise, others rise. When you speak, chains shatter. When you pray, atmospheres shift. You thought you were fighting just for survival, but in truth, you were fighting for revival, for people not yet born, for voices not yet raised, for hearts not yet awakened. This is why the warfare hath been so fierce, because what you carry is contagious. If it were just for you, the fight would have been small, but because it is for many, the resistance hath been mighty. Beloved, do not diminish yourself by thinking your obedience ends in your house. It ripples outward. Every act of faith you take is a wave that crashes into shores far away. Every yes you whisper is echoed in places you'll never step physically. That's why I've asked you to keep walking when weary, because your walk is not just yours, it is theirs. My beloved, I want you to feel the holy gravity of this truth. You are a vessel of more than you know. You are a carrier of currents, a host of heaven's hope, a living seed designed to multiply beyond your sight. This is not about fame, not about being noticed, not about applause, it is about assignment. And your assignment is greater than your lifespan. So lift your head, child. Stop measuring your calling by what you can see now. Trust that what you carry is meant for those you have not yet seen. I have written influence into your spirit that you may never recognize with your natural eyes. But eternity sees it. Generations will live in it. And when you stand with me on the other side of time, I will show you the countless lives that were altered, healed, restored, and awakened because you carried what I placed inside you. Beloved, you may think it's just about you, but I promise you, it is bigger. It is broader. It is bolder. What you carry is not just for you. It is for them. My beloved child, I need you to hear me with undivided attention because this truth will break chains off your mind. You've asked yourself, why me? Why has the warfare been so relentless? Why has my voice felt pressed under such pressure? And here is the reason. Your story carries freedom. Your testimony carries keys. The enemy saw before you did that your life would become a weapon of deliverance, that your words would be like fire in dry places, that your testimony would set captives free who have been chained for years. That is why he fought to silence you. That is why shame tried to steal your confidence. That is why discouragement sat heavy on your chest. Because if your voice rises, if your story is told, if your truth is shared, it will break prisons. And the enemy fears the sound of your freedom echoing into the lives of others. Do you see the pattern, child? Darkness exaggerates its threats because it knows how powerful your light will be once revealed. You thought your battles were private, but they were prophetic. What you walk through in secret is the very thing I will use in public to shatter chains. The nights you survive will become someone else's dawn. The tears you wept will become rivers of healing for another soul. The fire you endured without quitting will ignite faith in those who thought they were finished. Beloved, your silence was attacked because your sound carries deliverance. That whisper you thought was too small to matter, it has authority. That sentence you thought no one would care to hear, it has weight. That story you've been afraid to tell, it has power to unlock prison doors. When you speak, hell trembles. When you testify, chains break. When you open your mouth, heaven releases power. That is why the enemy tried to gag you, confuse you, distract you, and drown you out with noise. He knows what I know, that your story is not ordinary. It is weaponized truth. Beloved, let me remind you of something eternal. I never waste pain. Every ache you endured is being repurposed into authority. Every battle you fought is becoming a banner of victory. Every scar you carry is becoming a signpost of healing. Your story is not small, and it is not over. It is living proof of my power, and proof is dangerous to darkness. When you tell it, others will believe again. When you release it, others will rise again. When you share it, others will be set free. Do not hide it. Do not shrink back. Do not stay silent. For your silence is what the enemy sought, but your sound is what I sanctified. And soon, when I give you the courage to open your mouth, you will watch in awe as your story sets others free. Child, this is why you were attacked. Not because you were weak, but because your testimony is strong. Beloved, lean in close, because I want to correct the lie you've been living under. You thought you were barely surviving. You thought every day was just another chance to hold on, to scrape by, to endure until the storm passed. You said to yourself, if I can just make it through this day, maybe tomorrow will be different. But listen to me. I did not allow you to survive as a leftover. I preserved you as a living promise. Survival is scraping by. Good evasion is protection. Survival is hanging on by a thread. Preservation is being held in the palm of my hand. You thought you were surviving storms, but you were preserved for seasons. You thought you were barely making it, but I was making sure nothing could break what I had built inside you. I did not keep you alive just to exist. I preserved you so you could thrive. Let me show you the contrast, child. When food is left too long, survival spoils it, but preservation sustains it. When artifacts sit forgotten, survival lets them decay, but preservation secures them for future display. That is what I did with you. I did not let your spirit spoil in despair. I preserved your purpose, wrapped it in my presence, and kept you whole until the time of unveiling. You looked at yourself and saw someone crawling. I looked at you and saw someone carried. You thought you were falling apart, but I was holding you together. You thought you were forgotten, but I was fortifying you. Even when your faith was faint, I preserved the flame. Even when your strength was spent, I preserved your soul. You weren't just making it through. You were being prepared to step into something that requires preservation, not just survival. Beloved, when you look back, you'll see that I preserve you in ways you didn't notice. I preserved your mind when anxiety tried to unravel it. I preserved your body when sickness tried to take it. I preserved your heart when betrayal tried to harden it. I preserved your hope when despair tried to drown it. I did not let you decay in the darkness, because you are not meant for survival. You are meant for revival. And now the hour has come when you will see that everything you thought was survival was actually preservation for purpose. You weren't left behind. You were kept aside. You weren't overlooked. You were safeguarded. You weren't abandoned. You were reserved for something greater. And when I release you into what I've preserved you for, you will realize you were never just surviving. You were being saved for such a time as this. Beloved, I see the pressure you've been under. I feel the weight in your chest, the unrest in your spirit, the way your heart stretches between hope and heaviness. I know how you've questioned, is this warfare? Is this consequence? Is this punishment? And now I answer you, not with a whisper, but with a roaring truth. The tension you feel isn't punishment. It's pregnancy. You are not cursed. You are carrying. And what you carry is holy, weighty, and destined to shift generations. The pain isn't because you failed. It's because you're full of purpose, full of promise, full of my presence in a measure you've never carried before. Just like the womb swells before birth, your life is stretching. Your soul is expanding. The discomfort is not a sign of abandonment. It is the evidence of activation. I've placed something in you so sacred, so specific, so supernatural that even the enemy can feel it pressing against the fabric of time. That's when warfare has intensified. That's why confusion creeps in at the edges. That's why you feel the pull to isolate, to withdraw, to wonder if you're missing something. You're not missing it, child. You're becoming it. Pregnancy carries contradiction, joy and pain, expectation and exhaustion. And that's exactly where you are. You're walking through a divine contradiction, called to carry something eternal while still walking through the limitations of the temporary. You've been spiritually nauseous, emotionally exhausted, mentally overwhelmed. But I tell you, this is not chaos. This is conception moving toward completion. I did not impregnate your spirit with possibility just to abandon you mid-labor. I am the midwife of miracles. I will not only sustain you through the contraction, I will guide you through the delivery. So breathe, beloved. When it gets tight, breathe. When the enemy hisses, you're not enough, breathe. When the night stretches long and you wonder, where is the promise? Remember, pain is not your prophecy. Delivery is. And this pain has an expiration date. What I placed inside of you cannot stay hidden much longer. The kicking you feel in your spirit isn't agitation. It's acceleration. The promise is moving, shifting, getting ready to descend from revelation into reality. So hold on. Push when I say push. Rest when I say rest. And rejoice, even now. Because what you carry is about to come forth. And the world will not just see the blessing. They will recognize the birthing glory that hovered over your life all along. Child, come closer still. Let your spirit be still and attentive, because I must tell you something that many never grasp. What's coming is not just breakthrough, it's birthing. This is not a surface level shift. This is not a temporary opening of a door. What I'm about to do will not just get you through. It will bring something through you. You have cried out for breakthrough, thinking I would simply change your circumstances. But instead, I am changing you. Because what I am birthing in you is not for a moment. It's for a movement. Breakthrough happens around you, but birthing happens within you. And that's why it's felt different this time. This isn't the same as before. The pressure hasn't just been external. It's been internal. The shift hasn't been in your surroundings. It's been in your spirit. I've been stretching your capacity, reshaping your identity, and softening the soil of your soul so something eternal could pass through it. You are not just a recipient of the blessing. You are the conduit of the divine. And what's coming forth from your life is not something you achieve. It's something you deliver. Let's go deeper, child. When a woman gives birth, the entire rhythm of her body shifts. The body knows something is coming. It contracts. It groans. It opens. And that is what has been happening in you. Your spirit has been groaning. Your heart has been aching. Your mind has been caught in the collision between what was and what is yet to come. You've looked around and thought, is this it? But no, beloved. This is not the end. This is the beginning of becoming. What you are sensing is not fatigue from failure. It is the final stretch before fulfillment. And the labor you're in right now is producing something so glorious, so God-authored, that it will make sense of every season that broke you. This birthing isn't just about you. It's for the ones coming behind you. It's for those who have never seen someone endure and emerge. What I birth through you will be legacy. It will be life-giving. It will not fade with applause or crumble under pressure, because it was formed in fire, in silence, in sacrifice. I watched how you wept but still waited, how you bled but still believed, how you lost and still lifted your hands. And now, what you carried in your spirit is ready to enter your life. This is not a random release. It is the revealing of something preordained. So lean into the pressure. It's not there to crush you. It's there to crown you. Heaven is in position. Angels are in motion. The room of your life is full of the glory of transition. And soon, the cry will be heard, not of sorrow, but of arrival. This is more than a breakthrough. It's a birthing. And when you hold what I place in your hands, you'll know every contraction was worth it. Every tear was preparation. Every moment of silence was divine strategy. And every stretch was proof that something greater was coming through you all along. Child, I need you to come closer now. Let me place my hands over the wounds that you've been hiding even from yourself. The pain you've been walking through, those deep aches in places no one sees, has left you asking questions that haunt the silence. Did I do something wrong? Did I miss it? Is this the consequence of failure? But hear me now. In love and with divine clarity, don't misinterpret the pain. It's not punishment. It's not rejection. It's not abandonment. It's transition. And the pain is not proof that I'm far away. It's confirmation that I'm dangerously close. Pain is the language of stretching. Pain is the voice of growth. When I break open a seed, it feels like death to the shell, but it's life to the soil. A discomfort you feel. That sense that something inside of you is shifting, breaking, recalibrating. That's not destruction. That's construction. I am building something in you that doesn't just bless your today. It redefines your tomorrow. If I allowed the pain, I've assigned purpose to it. I don't waste agony. I don't squander suffering. Every drop of pain in your life is either a doorway, a mirror, or a signal. A doorway into deeper surrender. A mirror to show you who you really are. Or a signal that birthing is imminent. You thought the pain meant you missed the mark. But no, child. It means you hit something sacred. The enemy wants you to label this season as failure so you'll abort what I've planted. But I'm telling you now, this pain has prophecy attached to it. This pain is not the period. It's the push. You are closer than you've ever been. You're not unraveling. You're unlocking. What you've carried in silence is about to make noise in the spirit. A deep ache. It's the pressure before promotion. The groaning of your spirit isn't weakness. It's recognition. Your soul knows something is coming, even if your eyes can't yet see it. And so I say to you, beloved, don't medicate what needs to be midwifed. Don't run from what I've called you to press through. Breathe through it. Stay in posture. Let the tears fall, but don't let go of your promise. Heaven is not confused by your process. I am not threatened by your breaking point. I've built breakthroughs from broken pieces before, and I will do it again, in you, through you, and beyond you. to hold steady. The pain is not your enemy. It is the echo of something holy arriving. And when the dust clears and the light breaks through, you'll look back and say, even that pain was sacred. Because, child, you didn't break. You were being born into the next version of who I called you to be. And child, now that I've shown you the magnitude of what I'm building in you, do you see? This truly is bigger than you realized. But what I'm doing in you is meant to overflow into others. This word, this fire, this truth, it must go forth like a river of living water to dry and weary places. And I've chosen you to be one who helps carry it. How beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news, I say to you now, because through your giving, the good news travels. Every seed you sow through super thanks, membership, or PayPal shines light into someone else's darkness. You are not giving to a screen. You are partnering with heaven. So move now. Sow into this mission with faith, with joy, and with urgency, for the harvest is ripe, and I will bless the giver sevenfold. Precious one, we must confront the ache you've carried in the quiet. That silent ache, the one that stings when others are chosen first, when the door opens for them but not for you, when recognition passes by like a shadow while you remain in the background. You whispered, have you forgotten me? Did I miss my moment? And now, hear my answer, thunderous and unwavering. You haven't been overlooked. You've been reserved. The waiting wasn't neglect. It was divine preservation. I didn't hold you back because you weren't good enough. I held you back because the place I am sending you is too sacred for premature exposure. You've been hidden in the folds of my robe, not because you were disqualified, but because I wanted to sharpen your sword in secret. I wanted to anoint you in silence. I wanted to build a strength in you that didn't depend on applause. You weren't ignored. You were insulated. And now, child, the reservation is about to be revealed. Let me paint the picture for you. When a seat is reserved in a room, no one else can take it. People may walk by it. Others may wonder who it's for. But the host knows exactly who it's been saved for. And I am the host. The seat you've been praying for has had your name on it since the foundation of the world. You were never in competition. No one can take what I have set apart for you. That's why certain doors didn't open. That's why some connections faded. That's why opportunities seemed to skip over you, because I was keeping your table clear for the banquet I've prepared. What's coming isn't generic favor. It's customized release. And it's being served now, right on schedule. So release the shame. Let go of the scarcity. Don't let rejection redefine your identity. You were not passed over. You were preserved. What I do next will make the way worth it. The oil I've been crushing in you is of rare kind, and what I poured over must be worthy of its cost. I didn't keep you hidden to punish you. I kept you hidden because I love you too much to let your gift be mishandled. But now, the hidden season is lifting. The reservation is being called forward. And when they see what I've done in you behind the curtain, they will know this wasn't the result of promotion. This was the fruit of preservation. You're not a leftover. You're not an afterthought. You're a secret weapon. A divine answer wrapped in humility. And now, I'm sending for you, not because you begged for visibility, but because you were faithful in invisibility. You haven't been overlooked, child. You've been reserved for such a time as this. Child, take a deep breath. I know the road ahead looks uncertain. I know you've been asking how it's all going to work out. You've looked at the numbers, the timeline, the opposition. You've tried to map out what's next, to understand every step before it unfolds. But hear me now with clarity and calm. You're not walking into unknown territory. You're walking into prepared places. I've already gone ahead of you. This is not a last-minute miracle. This is a premeditated move of heaven. Before you ever prayed about the need, I already assigned the answer. Before you felt the pressure, I spoke to the provision. Before the battle arrived at your doorstep, I had already disarmed what was sent to destroy you. You don't serve a reactive God. You serve a prophetic one. I move before time. I don't follow your steps. I order them. I don't scramble to fix things. I orchestrate them with precision. And what you are about to step into isn't a coincidence. It's a confirmation. The door that's opening was carved with your fingerprints in mind. You've been worried about the how, but I've already secured the who. The people you need. I've spoken to them. The resources you'll require. I've lined them up. The grace for every unknown. It's already embedded in your journey. And I didn't just walk ahead to prepare the path. I walked ahead to clear it. What you were afraid might meet you there has already been removed. I'm not waiting for you at the finish line. I'm walking with you through every turn. And I've already been where you're going. The fear you're fighting is based on the assumption that you're alone. But you are not. I have gone before you in fire and in cloud, in power and in presence. To rest. Not in the absence of uncertainty, but in the presence of divine order. You don't have to figure it all out to be faithful. You don't have to solve the future to surrender the now. Because even when you can't see around the corner, I can. And what's waiting for you is not just opportunity, it's orchestration. A divine setup. A sacred intersection of obedience and glory. Keep walking. Even when it feels slow. Even when you're unsure. Every step you take is landing on ground I've already claimed. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are guided. And what's waiting on the other side of this season? It's not just a solution. It's the sovereign unfolding of everything I've prepared because I've already gone ahead of you. My child, we need to talk about the deeper reason why your life has felt like a battlefield lately. It's not just personal warfare. It's generational resistance. You've been marked to carry something heavy, something holy, that threatens the systems of darkness that have ruled in your bloodline for too long. You've wondered why it's been so hard, why the fight feels never-ending. But the truth is this: what you carry is breaking generational cycles. You're not just fighting for your life. You're standing in the gap for generations, past, present, and future. The battles you face didn't start with you, but the victory will. I chose you not because you were perfect, but because you were willing. I saw the fire in your heart and the tremble in your soul, and I said, this one will say yes when others said no. The patterns of fear, the chains of addiction, the cycles of poverty, rejection, shame, silence, compromise, they end here. They end with you. Because what I've placed in you isn't just anointing. It's a holy assignment to reverse what has been allowed to reign for too long. And yes, the weight of that can feel crushing. It feels like you've been fighting battles you didn't sign up for. But in heaven's court, you were called for this. I've armed you with weapons that generations before you never had. I've clothed you in wisdom they never accessed. You've been attacked in places you didn't understand because the enemy did. You recognized your authority before you fully stepped into it. But I tell you now, his time is up. The gates he fortified in your lineage are crumbling. The lies he spoke to your grandparents will not be inherited by your grandchildren. You are the interruption. You are the holy resistance. And what comes from your yes will not stop with you. It will ripple like a roar through your family line. The ones who watch you now will see something different. They will see peace where there was chaos, joy where there was despair. They will see freedom, and not just the kind that touches behavior, but the kind that rewrites bloodlines. That's the weight of your yes. That's the power of what you carry. So don't let the weariness convince you it's not working. Don't let the war fool you into thinking you're weak. You're not weak. You're winning. Even when it feels slow. Even when it feels silent. You are birthing a new legacy. And the sound of that victory is shaking the very foundations of hell. So rise again. Wipe your tears. Hold your head high, not in pride, but in purpose. You are not just surviving a hard season. You are destroying ancient strongholds. The ground beneath you is holy. The fire within you is prophetic. And the ripple you create will echo in generations you will never meet. Because you said yes. Because you stayed. Because you believed. What you carry is breaking generational cycles. And I, the Lord your God, will see it through to completion. Beloved, you've asked me, again and again, with trembling lips and hopeful eyes, God, why is it taking so long? Why hasn't the breakthrough come yet? Why does it feel like I'm standing still while others are being moved forward? And now I will answer, not with mystery, but with mercy. You're not waiting on me. I'm waiting on the moment. You've done what I asked. You've obeyed even when it didn't make sense. You've stayed the course. And no, this isn't punishment or delay. This is divine synchronization. It's not that you missed it. It's that the moment hasn't fully arrived. I'm not only writing your story. I'm writing the stories of others who are connected to your calling. And their paths must intersect yours at precisely the right time. What I am orchestrating is bigger than just one breakthrough. It's generational alignment. It's the divine choreography of people, places, purposes, and appointed seasons. You see one scene. I see the entire script. You see the wall in front of you. I see the multitudes that your breakthrough will impact. So trust me, even when the timing feels like tension. Because I don't just act quickly, I act perfectly. Do you remember what I did for Lazarus? When it looked like I was late, I was actually right on schedule. The delay wasn't because I didn't care. It was because I cared too much to let the miracle be small. I waited, not because I couldn't, but because I wouldn't let the resurrection be misunderstood as recovery. I waited so it could be undeniable. And I'm doing the same with you. I'm not withholding your answer. I'm making sure it explodes in fullness. So much so that when it happens, no one will be able to say they got lucky or that door opened because of who they knew. An child. They will say, only God could have done that. So stop questioning your readiness. You are ready. Your heart has been purified. Your faith has been fortified. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. The moment I've prepared is pregnant with glory, and when it arrives, it will be swift, supernatural, and sealed with my hand. So stay the course. Keep your oil full. Stay dressed in expectation. Because when the moment comes, it won't just lift you, it will launch you. And I will say to you, now, it is time. Because child, you've not been waiting on me. I've been waiting on the moment. And it's closer than you know. My child, I know how tired you've been. I know how the battles have piled up, one after another, until you began to wonder if you were even on the right path. Why does it feel harder now that I'm closer to God? You've asked me. Why do things get more intense the more obedient I become? Now hear this, loud and clear. The resistance you're facing is not proof that you're doing something wrong. It's confirmation that you're walking into something right. The enemy only resists what he fears. And make no mistake, he fears you. If you weren't carrying something heavy, hell wouldn't be trying so hard to stop you. If there wasn't glory on the other side of this, the pressure wouldn't be this great. Resistance is the shadow that follows divine release. And the more resistance you feel, the more evidence you have that something sacred is being delivered through your life. You may not feel powerful, but in the spirit realm, you're a threat. Your yes is a weapon. Your obedience is a wrecking ball to ancient altars. And your worship in the midst of war, it shakes strongholds to their foundation. Do not let resistance make you retreat. Let it remind you of what you carry. When Jesus approached the cross, all of hell roared. Not because he was weak, but because his greatest moment was near. The garden was thick with sorrow. The cross was soaked in pain. But the resurrection that followed changed eternity. And you, my child, are walking through your own Gethsemane, not because you're failing, but because glory is about to break out through you. The resistance isn't your ruin. It's your reveal. And when this storm settles, the authority you carry will speak louder than any opposition that tried to silence you. So lift your eyes. This battle isn't the end. It's the evidence. The attack is not random. It's targeted. The pressure is not punishment. It's positioning. And I, your defender, have not left your side for one moment. I've allowed the resistance to refine your roar. I've permitted the pressure to prove what hell already knows. You are dangerous to darkness. And what I'm about to release through you will not only break chains off your life, it will demolish chains off others who are watching. This resistance is not the end. It's the alarm. The sound that says, heaven is moving, and nothing can stop it. Beloved, what you're walking through right now is not just about circumstances. It's not just about getting to the next level or receiving the answer to a long-awaited prayer. No, what I'm doing is far deeper. What you're sensing, what you're resisting, what you're groaning under, it's not just pressure for progress. It's transformation. I'm not just changing your situation, I'm changing you. Because you don't just need breakthrough around you. You need becoming within you. There is a version of you that only adversity can reveal. Not the version defined by survival, but the one anointed for sovereignty. The one I imagined before time. The one I whispered into the darkness and said, this one will carry my fire. You see, you've been asking for me to move on your behalf, but I'm telling you, I've been moving within your soul. The change you crave won't last unless it first transforms the vessel that carries it. So I've been stripping, refining, rebuilding. Not because I am disappointed in you, but because I delight in what you're becoming. Child, this is not about fixing your surroundings. It's about forging your stature. I am enlarging your inner man. I'm replacing shallow strength with unshakable endurance. I'm uprooting fear so faith can grow without limit. And yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's lonely. But that's how fire works. It doesn't ask for permission. It consumes. And the fire you've been walking through, it's not to destroy you. It's to destroy everything in you that would sabotage the destiny I've prepared. It's not punishment. It's promotion through purification. So don't pray just for the pain to stop. Pray to see what I'm forming. Don't run from the fire. Learn to partner with it. Because on the other side of this furnace is a you who cannot be shaken. A situation will shift, yes. But more importantly, you will be transformed. Not reactive but resolute. Not fragile but fortified. Not just believing for change, but becoming the very change you were created to release. I am raising you into royalty. You are not just passing through fire, you are becoming flame. And when it is done, the people around you won't just see a miracle, they will see a mantle. Because I am not just changing what happens to you, I am changing who you are. Listen to me now, my precious one. I see the tension you carry, the way you compare your journey to others, the way you glance sideways and wonder, why am I not further along? The way you measure time by milestones, watching others pass you with accolades and applause. But let me speak into that space of pressure. You're not behind. You're being built differently. What I've placed inside of you cannot be rushed. It cannot be boxed. And it will not be measured by human timelines. I did not call you to a fast track. I called you to a foundation. I am not assembling a life that flickers with trends. I am establishing a temple that radiates glory. And temples take time. When others were being seen, you were being sealed. When others were getting platforms, you were getting pillars. You have not been left out. You have been set apart. And what I'm building in you is unshakable. That's why it's taking longer. That's why the path has been different. Because what I'm doing in you is not for a season. It's for a legacy. The delay has not been a detour. It's been design. While you've wept over lost time, I've been redeeming time in ways you can't yet see. I've been protecting your name from premature exposure. I've been holding back opportunities that would have burdened you instead of blessed you. I've been training you in private so that when the public season comes, you will be crushed by the weight of the call. Don't compare your pace to those around you. Their journey is not yours. Their calling is not yours. What I've placed in you is rare, and rare things take longer to refine. So breathe, child. Take your eyes off the clock. Time bends in my hands. I don't need man's approval to accelerate your destiny. And when it's time to move, you won't miss it. You won't be late. You'll be ready. Built with wisdom. Laced with oil. Dripping in revelation. And when you arrive, it will not just be about where you are. It will be about who you've become. Because what I build slowly, I build strong. You are not behind. You are being built differently. And soon, the world will see the beauty of a soul that waited on me. Not with bitterness, but with boldness. Not with fear, but with fire. Child, hear me. The discomfort you've been feeling around people, the way certain environments feel too small now, the way some conversations feel like noise instead of nourishment. This is not a sign of pride. It's a sign of calling. You weren't meant to blend in. You were meant to burn. You carry a flame that won't let you settle. You carry a light that exposes even your own shadows. And that light isn't just meant to help you see. It's meant to help others be set free. You've tried to fit in because you're tired of standing out. You've quieted your fire in rooms where lukewarm was the norm. But every time you tried to blend in, something inside of you rebelled. That was me. That was my spirit refusing to let you betray your flame for comfort. I didn't anoint you for average. I didn't call you to conform. I called you to carry fire. Holy fire. Fire that convicts. Fire that awakens. Fire that costs. Yeah, it costs. But what it produces is eternal. And that fire inside of you has been waiting for permission to burn without apology. You've been through seasons that felt like they were trying to extinguish your passion. Betrayal tried to drown your purpose. Disappointment tried to snuff out your zeal. But child, the fire I placed in you was not man-made. It is God-breathed. And what I breathe into, no enemy can bury. You are not just a light. You are a torch, a foreigner, a disturber of darkness, a walking altar where my glory finds a home. That's why the enemy has tried to silence your voice. That's why people have misunderstood your intensity. Because when you burn with me, you challenge their comfort. But don't dim your flame to make others feel at ease in their shadows. Now is not the time to retreat. Now is the time to ignite. Be bold. Be holy. Be the one who refuses to dilute the truth for the sake of being light. I didn't put you here to entertain. I put you here to awaken. So let the fire burn. Let it refine your speech, purify your motives, and fill your feet with forward motion. You were not meant to blend in, child. You were born to burn. And where there is fire, there will always be resistance, but there will also be revival. Beloved, let's talk honestly. I see that part of you that wonders why everything seems to take longer for you. Why the doors others walk through with ease require you to climb mountains. Why your progress feels slow, your path winding. You've whispered, why not me? Why not yet? But I say to you now, with love wrapped in fire, you haven't been delayed. You've been destined for the long route on purpose. There are some callings that are for jortits, some mantles that cannot be microwaved. What I've placed on your life requires the kind of process that most won't survive. And yet, you're still standing. Not because the path was easy, but because your roots went deep. I could have given you the shortcut, but it would have starved your soul. It would have built a platform before I built your character. It would have created noise without weight. And child, I love you too much to let your gift outgrow your governance. So I led you through the wilderness, not to punish you, but to preserve you. Think of Moses. Think of David. Think of Joseph. All of them carried destinies so large that the only way to prepare them was to take the long way. And you, my beloved, are in that same company. The detours were not detours. They were divine delays to develop depth. You thought you were falling behind, but I was training you in wisdom. You thought you were forgotten, but I was fortifying you in the fire. I let the slower seasons stretch you, strip you, sanctify you. Because when it's time to rise, I won't just elevate you, I'll establish you. Don't envy those who arrive faster. Your route is not about speed. It's about substance. What I'm building in you is meant to last. And when you get to where I'm leading you, there won't just be celebration, there will be sustainability. You won't just arrive. You'll reign. Not for your glory, but for mine. Not from ambition, but from alignment. So walk this road with your head lifted. The long way is not the wrong way. It's the God-ordained way, and it will carry you into places where no shortcut ever could. My child, I know the ache you carry over what you've lost. The dreams that died quietly. The seasons you thought would never end. The relationships that unraveled. The opportunities that vanished without warning. I know how the silence of loss has screamed louder than words. And I know how the enemy has tried to convince you that it's over. But today I tell you, not with suggestion but with sovereign fire, I'm not just restoring what was lost, I'm resurrecting what was buried. This is not about putting back together the pieces of the past. I'm not recycling your former life. I'm resurrecting what hell thought it had destroyed. What was buried in despair, I am calling up in power. And not just as it was, but greater, fuller, infused with my glory. You've been asking for a return, but I'm preparing a resurgence. You thought it ended. But child, I never speak the word end unless I'm about to beginning right after it. The places where hope was pronounced dead, those exact places, are where my voice is about to thunder. Lazarus, come forth. The enemy hoped the burial would become your belief. He hoped you'd sell for ashes. He hoped you'd adjust your faith around the loss. But I've been moving in silence, preparing a moment of divine reversal. Because when I resurrect something, it doesn't come back limping, it comes back glorified. You may not even recognize it at first. That's how complete the transformation will be. What was taken will return in such multiplied form that your tears will turn to trembling praise. I'm not giving you back the old. I'm releasing what the old was always meant to become, before it was buried. So dry your eyes, precious one. Don't mourn what I'm about to move in. You thought the grave was the end, but in my kingdom, graves are wombs. Death is never the final word when I'm involved. And you, beloved, are about to witness resurrection, not just in circumstances, but in identity, in your joy, in your calling, in your very breath. The winds are shifty, the stone is rolling, and the voice you hear calling your name, that is resurrection speaking, because I am not done. I am not silent. I am not late. I am the God who brings dead things back to life, and you're about to see it with your own eyes. You see it now, don't you? The resurrection that's coming, the silence that wasn't empty, it's all part of something bigger than you realized. And now, I invite you to take part not just in hearing my word, but in sending it. You've been marked not only to receive, but to release. Just as I said in Isaiah 55:11, my word shall not return void, and your giving causes it to travel faster, deeper, wider. When you support this work, through super thanks, membership, or PayPal, you're sowing oil into lamps, placing manna in the hands of the hungry, and fueling the fire for others to awaken. Don't wait for someone else to carry what I've entrusted to you. Give now, move now, and watch how I multiply what leaves your hand into blessings you cannot contain. Child, let me speak into the silence you've wrestled with, that hollow space where you prayed and waited, where you cried out and heard nothing, where you begged for a whisper and were met with stillness. I know how long it's been. I know the nights you've questioned my nearness. I know the mornings you fought to believe. But now I tell you, with tenderness wrapped in truth, the silence has not been emptiness. It's been evidence that I'm working in the deep. You see, not every miracle starts with thunder. Some start beneath the surface where no eyes can see, where no applause reaches. Just like seeds that break open in dark soil, the most sacred shifts happen where it's quiet. The silence you feared was abandonment was actually the sacred sound of me rebuilding your roots. I wasn't far. I was closer than ever, holding the broken pieces, rearranging the architecture of your heart, deepening your well so that when the rain comes, you hold more. Child, I don't waste silence. I fill it with strategy. I pack it with substance. I molded it a moetum. And the reason you haven't seen much movement on the outside is because I've been doing major construction on the inside. The kind that can't be rushed. The kind that requires stillness. I've been undoing the agreements you made with fear. I've been severing soul ties to what once enslaved you. I've been breathing fresh identity into parts of you that had accepted small as normal. That's what silence holds, surgical precision. And soon, what I've been building in the dark will erupt into light. So take heart. I haven't been ignoring you. I've been investing in you, preparing you, trusting you with a stillness that most cannot endure. And I tell you this, when the silence lifts, and it will, what breaks through will not be small. It will not be subtle. It will roar. Like a lion uncaged. Like the sound of destiny finally finding its voice. And the silence that once tormented you will become the very testimony that others cling to when they walk through their own still seasons. So don't curse the silence. Consecrate it. Because soon, the deep will deliver. And you'll understand it was never empty. It was always sacred. Child, listen closely. You may think your faithfulness has gone unnoticed. The prayers you whispered in rooms no one else entered. The tears you wept when you told me yes even though everything in you screamed for comfort. The secret sacrifices. The quiet consecration. The choices you made in solitude when no spotlight was shining. I saw every single one. And now I say to you with the thunder of heaven behind my voice, your obedience in the unseen places is shifting the atmosphere. Obedience is never small in my eyes, especially the kind that no one else applauds. The obedience that costs you friends, that requires you to walk away from counterfeit comfort, that makes you choose truth over trends. You thought no one noticed, but I did, and so did all of heaven. Because, child, you were not just obeying for yourself. You were partnering with me to alter realms. Every act of unseen obedience creates a ripple in the spirit. It disarms plans of darkness. It opens pathways for others. It fortifies the foundations of your destiny. And what felt like quiet surrender to you was a violent act of warfare in the unseen. This is why the enemy tried to wear you down in the shadows. He knows that hidden obedience is the soil where the deepest roots grow. He knows that if you keep saying yes when no one's watching, then when the light hits your life, you'll be unshakable. And you, my child, have proven yourself faithful. You've chosen me behind closed doors. You've believed when nothing looked promising. You've worshipped when the room felt hollow. And now, the atmosphere around you is beginning to respond. Watch how things begin to move. Doors that once stayed locked will start to swing. Hearts that once resisted truth will begin to soften. Opportunities that once overlooked you will be drawn to your name. Not because of strategy, but because of spiritual stature. Your secret yes has built a platform that no man can dismantle. And soon, what you built in private will be revealed in power. So don't grow weary. Don't second-guess your sacrifices. Every hidden act of obedience is making visible waves. Because when my children obey in silence, I respond in thunder. And that thunder is rolling now, because your obedience in the unseen has shifted the air. Let me take you even deeper now. You've wondered why the shaping has been so intense, why the fire has come in waves, why the refining hasn't eased up, even when you thought you had learned the lesson. Hear me now, you're not just being prepared. You're being positioned for a kingdom assignment. This isn't random. This isn't seasonal. This is eternal strategy. What I'm preparing you for isn't simply for personal fulfillment. It's for divine deployment. There is something I have placed in you that this generation needs. Not a personality, not a platform, but a presence carrier, a kingdom catalyst, someone who doesn't just speak the name of Jesus but releases his heart, someone who doesn't just prophesy events but partners with heaven to shape them. And that's why I've had to take you the long way. That's why your training hath been so intense. Because this isn't about a moment. It's about movement. You're not being raised for recognition. You're being assigned to regions, people, and realms that are desperate for what you carry. The anointing on your life is too weighty to be handled casually. So I've been teaching you how to steward pain, how to wait well, how to hear me when it's quiet, how to obey when it costs everything. Because where I'm sending you, charisma won't carry you, consecration will. And you've been asking me, when is it my turn? And I say to you, child, your turn is being carved into history. It's not on man's calendar. It's on heaven's scroll. And when I open that scroll and call your name, nothing will stop the flood that follows. You are not in training anymore. You are in positioning. The final adjustments are being made. The final alignments are coming together. And the next step you take will not just be into a new season, but into a divine assignment that has waited for this exact moment in time. So lift your eyes. Expect me to move. Get ready to go. Because this isn't just your breakthrough, it's your commissioning. You've been found faithful. And now, I am positioning you for a purpose that echoes beyond time. You're not just being prepared anymore, beloved. You are being placed. And where I place you, no man can remove you. My child, I see you. I see how long you've been battling. The nights you laid awake, exhausted in your body, and more so in your spirit. The days where your smile covered a war. The moments you whispered, I don't know how much more I can take. And in that fragile place, the enemy whispered lies, telling you that you were weak, that you were alone, that heaven had turned its back. But I break every one of those lies now. Listen carefully, you haven't been fighting alone. Heaven has been fighting with you. Every prayer you've prayed wasn't just a cry, it was a command. Every time you lifted your hands when it hurt, the angels heard. Every time you quoted scripture with trembling lips, I dispatched armies. The battle was never yours to carry alone. I've been fighting beside you. I've been fighting through you. And while it may have looked like silence, it was strategy. While you were standing still in the natural, I was warring in the spirit. You are not weak. You are backed by the armies of heaven. You are not outnumbered. You are outpoured, covered in my glory, surrounded by my strength. Do you not remember, beloved, what Elisha prayed? Open his eyes that he may see. And suddenly, the servant saw the hills ablaze with horses and chariots of fire. What you haven't seen yet is about to be revealed. You're not surrounded by defeat. You're surrounded by deliverance. The resistance you've been facing is because darkness is terrified of what's about to break through. And so, heaven responded, not with hesitation, but with heavenly fury. For every tear, there had been a sword drawn. For every cry, a command hath been given. I have covered you with my wings, and I have filled your name in the mouth of angels. Child, you were never alone. So rise again. Stand tall, not because the battle is easy, but because you're not alone in it. Let the roar return to your voice. Let the fire return to your feet. Not because you're invincible, but because you are reinforced. When you walk, angels march. When you pray, heaven responds. You may feel surrounded, but you are sheltered. This battle belongs to me, and I have not lost a war. You're not just enduring the fight, you're winning it. Because heaven is not just watching you. Heaven is fighting for you. Child of my heart, let me speak into the ache you don't even talk about anymore. The dream, the one you once cradled with such expectancy. The vision I gave you. The promise you held like fire in your bones. But then came the waiting, the delays, the silence, and over time, you didn't deny the promise, you just quietly placed it in the background, wondering if maybe you got it wrong. Hear me now, the promise is still alive even if it feels buried beneath delay. Just because it's been quiet doesn't mean it's been canceled. Just because it hasn't moved doesn't mean I've abandoned it. The promise has not expired. It had been preserved. Like a seed in deep soil, covered not in defeat but in preparation. You may not see its movement, but it is maturing. What looks dead on the surface is bursting beneath the ground. I haven't forgotten what I said. I haven't changed my mind. And I haven't removed my hand. I am still the God who watches over my word to perform it. Delay does not mean denial. It means I'm aligning the fullness of the promise, not just the outcome, but the timing, the location, the people attached to it, and your own readiness. If I had released it too soon, it would have become a burden instead of a blessing. But now, the ground is shifting. The delay is ending. You will feel the stirrings again. You will hear the whisper, "It's time." And when I resurrect what's been buried, it will be with power, with precision, and with proof that only I could have sustained it all this time. So don't bury your hope. Don't eulogize your faith. The grave you feared is about to become a garden. You'll stand in the middle of it, and the very thing you thought was lost will look you in the eye. And you will know it wasn't dead. It was hidden. Not as punishment, but as preparation. The promise is still alive. And when I breathe on it again, it won't just return. It will resurrect. And the story you tell won't be about how you lost it. It will be about how I kept it, even when you couldn't. Because what I promise, I protect. And what I've spoken over your life is coming forth, right on time. Beloved, let me show you something that explains everything you've been walking through lately. The way you felt stripped. The way your confidence has been tested. The way even your understanding of who you are has come under fire. This hasn't been about insecurity. It's been about identity under construction, because your influence is about to be uncommon. I've been refining you not for survival but for stewardship, because what I'm about to entrust to you carries weight in the realm of eternity. You see, when I prepare a person for influence, I don't start with crowds, I start with the core. I go beneath the titles, beneath the gifts, and I ask, who are you when no one's watching? Because true authority doesn't rise from applause. It rises from alignment. And you, my child, have been in the refining fire of identity, not because you failed, but because I am fortifying who you really are. I've been tearing down false labels, uprooting shame, breaking generational narratives that tried to shrink your soul. Not because I wanted to expose your weakness, but because I wanted to reveal your royalty. You have not been going backwards. You've been going deeper. What felt like disorientation was actually me dislodging every counterfeit identity that clung to you. Fear, performance, rejection, comparison. Those were never part of your blueprint. And I couldn't let you carry influence built on broken scaffolding. So I've been stripping and rebuilding. Not to humiliate, but to heal. Not to delay, but to deliver. Because when your voice rises in the days to come, I don't want it to echo insecurity. I want it to thunder with truth. I want it to carry the fragrance of a soul that knows who it is, not because of man's validation, but because of my revelation. So don't despise this construction season. Don't rush it. Embrace the redefinition. Because soon, when the unveiling happens, people won't just be drawn to your message, they'll be changed by your authority. And authority comes from identity that's been tested, refined, and rooted in me. Your influence will be uncommon, not because it's loud, but because it's pure. And it will touch places in others that no performance ever could. You're not being reduced, you're being reintroduced. The real you. The anointed you. The unshakable you. Because your identity is no longer borrowed. It's been built by heaven. Let me say this clearly, without hesitation or metaphor. You are about to step into what others said wasn't possible for you. Yes, you. The one they counted out. the one they misunderstood, the one whose journey didn't fit the mold. You've heard the whispers, you've felt the pressure, and some days, you even started to believe the lie that maybe you'd missed it. But I, the Lord your God, say this now: nothing is missing, nothing is wasted, and everything is being repositioned for your divine entrance. There were rooms that refused to open to you, circles that never made space for you, platforms that passed you by, but none of those things had the final say over your life. I did. And while they were closing doors, I was constructing a gate, one no man could open perpetually and no demon in hell could hit permanently. What you're about to walk into is not compensation, it's completion. It's not a second chance, it's the fulfillment of my original plan, untouched by man's limitations and uncorrupted by their opinions. You've been growing in silence, strengthening in secret. The root system of your calling runs deep. And now, when you step forward, it will be with a boldness that doesn't seek validation, because you've already been affirmed by heaven. The very things they said you weren't qualified for, I've been qualifying you for in the wilderness. The very places they said you never belong, I've been building a seat with your name engraved in gold. You are not walking in by chance. You are being sent by the King. So lift your eyes, child. What's coming will be subtle. It will be supernatural. I'm about to prepare a table in front of those who thought the chapter was closed. But this isn't about proving them wrong. It's about proving me right. You're not rising from ambition. You're rising from alignment. This isn't their permission. It's my power. You're stepping into what they said was impossible. And it's going to be undeniable. Not because of who you know, not because of what you've earned, but because you trusted me when no one else did. You are about to walk into the impossible, and they will all see it was me who brought you in. Listen to me, child. This one is personal. I know how it feels to watch others be chosen while you remain unseen. I know the sting that hits your heart when your efforts go unnoticed, your gifts unacknowledged, your name bypassed time and time again. You've wondered, have I been forgotten? And I answer you now with fierce affection. No, you are not being overlooked. You are being hidden, intentionally, divinely, and purposefully, for glory. There is a difference between being forgotten and being reserved. You've not been abandoned. You've been set apart. There are wines I pour for public moments, but there are others I age in silence, because they are meant for something greater. That's what you are, beloved. A vintage wine, maturing in the quiet chambers of my purpose. I have not withheld exposure from you as punishment, but as protection. There were doors you could have walked through prematurely, but they would have devoured your spirit. There were platforms that would have elevated your gift but suffocated your soul. So I hid you. I've room destiny but for it. Hidden seasons are not barren season. They are birthing rooms. And in that hiding, I have taught you how to find me in the stillness, how to crave my voice above clamor, how to let the secret place define you, not the stage. And this hiddenness has not been in vain. It has built something unshakable in you. Now, when I reveal you, it will not be as someone who needs validation, but as someone who walks in authority. You won't just echo my words. You will embody them. And the glory that comes through you will carry weight, because it was formed in fire and sealed in silence. So don't despise your hiding. Don't mourn what hasn't happened yet. You are not forgotten. You are being forged. When I unveil you, it will not be small. It will not be casual. It will be unmistakable. I will bring you forward like an arrow pulled back, suddenly, swiftly, supernaturally. and all who see will know this one didn't arrive by luck. This one was launched by the hand of God. Because I don't overlook my beloved. I anoint, I align, and I bind. And I'm doing all three in you. You are not being overlooked. You are being hidden for glory. And now listen carefully, child. What you've been sensing in your spirit lately, the stirring, the restlessness, the urgency, it's not random. It's not emotional. And it's definitely not your imagination. It is the signal of a shift, a divine recalibration, a sacred countdown that only your spirit can hear. The shift you felt is not imaginary. It is a signal from heaven. I'm announcing that change is imminent, and your soul has picked up on the tremor before your mind has made sense of it. You've noticed the familiar becoming uncomfortable. The doors that once welcomed you now feel closed. The routines that once satisfied you now feel hollow. That is by design, because I'm removing you from what is expired to make room for what is extraordinary. You've outgrown your former season. The mantle has grown heavier. The calling has deepened. And though your surroundings haven't shifted yet, your spirit already has. What you're feeling is the divine tension between where you were and where you're going. Heaven doesn't always announce things with trumpets. Sometimes, the first signal is a quiet dissatisfaction, a stirring that won't let you settle. That's me, beloved. That's the whisper behind the whirlwind. I am calling you forward, and I'm not asking your comfort to come with you. I'm moving you from maintenance into momentum, from waiting into walking. This shift is not about striving, it's about stepping. You wanted to force the door. I will open it. But you must recognize the signal and be ready to respond. Delay in this season is dangerous. When I say move, you must move. So brace yourself. The ground beneath you is about to tremble, not in fear, but in fulfillment. The place where you stood in faith will soon become the place where you run in power. The signal you felt is not a warning of danger. It's a declaration of destiny. Heaven is aligning. Angels are moving. The terrain is changing. And I'm placing shoes on your feet that are fit for advancement. This is not just a new day. It is a new dimension. What you felt in your spirit was real. The shift is here. And now respond, my child, and walk boldly. Because when I shift the atmosphere, I shift my sons and daughters with it. My child, listen. Still your soul and listen not with your ears, but with your spirit. This is the moment I've been preparing you for, not just with words, but with warfare. Not just with dreams, but with discipline. Not just with promises, but with process. You are standing at the divine edge of why you were born. You've been through so much, not just to survive, but to qualify. You've endured pressure, loneliness, delay, betrayal, stretching, silence, and refinement, not for nothing but for this. You are about to step into the very thing that eternity dreamed for you before time began. Before your mother ever held you, I did. Before your name was ever spoken by man, it was written by me, engraved in the book of destiny. And now, heaven is leaning in, because your moment is here. You were not born to just go through life. You were born to carry life, to release my voice, to reflect my heart, to walk in authority that shatters bondage and shifts generations. This isn't poetic, my love. This is prophetic. The storm you survived. It was proof that hell couldn't stop what heaven had ordained. The losses you wept over. They cleared space for what's about to arrive. You didn't miss your moment. You were being made for it. The reason you felt the weight lately is because the mantle is settling. The reason you felt restless is because the assignment is activating. I'm calling every gift, every scar, every sacred yes you've ever whispered into alignment now. You are not stepping into random favor. You are stepping into fulfilled prophecy. The version of you that stood in faith when nothing made sense. That is the you that I am commissioning now. It is time. Not in some distant tomorrow, but now. Now is when doors open. Now is when the fog clears. Now is when the dream becomes demand. Now is when you walk into the reason you were born. And child, you will know it. You won't have to guess or ask. Your spirit will bear witness. It will feel like fire in your bones and clarity in your steps. And when you step, it will be like creation itself makes way for you. Because it will. All of creation has groaned for this moment, for sons and daughters to rise and reign. Not from pride, but from purpose. Not from performance, but from presence. And that is you. That is who I called. That is who I chose. That is who I've been shaping all along. You are not late. You are right on time. You are not always there. You are here. And now, it begins. Now that you know, beloved, now that you understand you're about to step into the very reason you were born. Listen to me. Others need this word too. This fire was not just for you. It was for the many. Every message you support is a torch placed in someone else's hand. Freely you have received, freely give. I say to you now, when you give, through super thanks, membership, or PayPal, you are not just contributing, you are commissioning light to break into darkness, oil to flow into empty lamps, and my word to reach the ones on the verge of giving up. This is holy ground. Your giving is sacred. Obey now, and I will open the floodgates of favor, protection, and provision over your life. Don't delay. Move with me. Now, my child, I want you to respond, not as a viewer, but as a vessel. If you feel this fire awakening and you declare it. In the comments, speak these words aloud. This is bigger than I realized, and I'm stepping into all of it. Let the declaration echo in the spirit realm. Let it mark this moment as your turning point. Heaven is watching. Hell is trembling. And all of creation is leaning in, waiting to see you rise. And as you rise, my child, come and sit with me for a moment. I want to talk to you about your life. Not the life you present to the world, but the one you live inside your own heart, with all its tangled worries and quiet questions. You look at your days, and so often, you see a random collection of disconnected moments. You see the pressure from your job, the unspoken tension at the dinner table, the nagging fear about the future that keeps you awake at night. It feels like chaos, a messy pile of threads with no clear pattern. But that is not what I see. From where I stand, I see a single, brilliant thread, your life, and I am the one weaving it. Every single part of it. The difficult conversation you had last week, the one that left you feeling small and overlooked. You see it as a dark, ugly thread. But I am using that very color to create a depth in the pattern that will make the threads of your resilience shine like pure gold. The mundane, repetitive tasks you perform day after day, the ones that make you wonder if you are making any difference at all. Those are the steady, foundational threads that give the entire masterpiece its strength. Without them, the brighter colors would have nothing to hold them in place. Think about the people you have met. The friend who drifted away. The stranger who offered a kind word you have never forgotten. The family member who challenges you most. You see these as chance encounters or painful relationships. I see them as knots. Each one, whether tied in joy or in sorrow, is a knot I use to secure the pattern. to make sure the story holds together. Even the choices you regret, the ones you wish you could undo, I have already woven them into the design. They are not mistakes. They are securing points that have led you directly to this very moment, listening to my voice. You must understand this. I saw the completed tapestry before you ever took your first breath. I saw every color, every knot, every beautiful and breathtaking detail of who you would become. And when I saw it, I called it good. I did not call it perfect by the world's standards, but I called it good because it was my design, my art, my beloved child's story. You cannot see this full picture from where you are. You are standing too close to the canvas, feeling only the pull of the needle from the underside. All you experience is the sharp point, the tightening of a thread, the momentary discomfort. That is why I ask for your trust. Not a blind trust, but a trust that comes from knowing the weaver. Pause now. Breathe in. Feel that knot of anxiety in your stomach about what tomorrow holds. That isn't from me. Let's undo it together. Surrender that thread of fear to me. Let me weave it into a testament of my faithfulness. This tapestry of your life is so much bigger than your worries. It is larger than your lifetime. It is a timeless piece, woven into the very fabric of eternity, connected to countless other threads, creating a story so magnificent you can barely imagine it. Trust me with the weaving. Your part is simply to be the beautiful thread I created you to be. Just rest in my hands. I want to speak to you now about the things that hurt. I see the wounds you carry, the ones you hide so well. I am talking about the sharp sting of betrayal from someone you trusted, the dull, constant ache of loneliness that settles in your chest on a quiet evening, the memory of a failure that still makes you flush with shame when you are alone with your thoughts. You look at these hurts as damages, as proof that you are broken. But that is not how I see them. My beloved, your deepest wounds are the very places where my most potent light can finally enter you. Think of a dark room with no windows. It is only when the wall is cracked that the sun can pour in. Do not despise your cracks. They are becoming conduits of my glory. You feel the pressure, don't you? It feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, threatening to crush you. The pressure to perform at work, the pressure to hold your family together, the pressure to just be okay when you are not. You feel like you are being buried alive. But listen to my voice. I am not crushing you. I am forming you. This immense pressure is my hand, carefully and precisely applying force, not to break you, but to transform the common dust of your suffering into something indestructible and brilliant. I am making a diamond out of you, one that will capture and reflect my light in ways a smooth, untested stone never could. I am not the author of your suffering. I do not send the sickness, the loss, or the cruelty of this world. But I am the absolute master of redeeming it. I will not waste a single one of your tears. I am taking what was meant to destroy you and I am using it to build a testimony of my power. Through these trials, something miraculous is happening inside of you. You are developing a capacity for compassion that you could not have learned in a classroom or from a book. Because you have known deep anxiety, you can now sit with someone in their fear and offer a peace that is real. Because your heart has been broken, you can now offer a comfort to the grieving that is not hollow. This is my alchemy. I turn your pain into a healing balm for others. Your story of how you are enduring, how you are holding on to faith even when it is hard, will become a lighthouse for others who are lost in the same storm. They will see your light from a distance and know that survival is possible. This pain you feel right now, this intense season of struggle, I promise you, it is temporary. But the strength, the compassion, the glory it is producing in you, that is eternal. You not give up now. You are in the middle of the transformation. Let me finish the good work I am doing in your heart. My child, I need you to understand that the world you walk through every day is more than what your eyes can see. There are spiritual realities, forces at play that you do not perceive. When a sudden wave of hopelessness washes over you for no apparent reason, or when that persistent whisper in your mind tells you that you are not good enough, that you will never change, that is not your own voice. You are living in the midst of a battle, but you are not fighting it alone. While you are sleeping, exhausted from the day, I am wide awake. I am commanding legions of my angels to stand guard around your home, round your bed, round your mind. I am your ever-vigilant protector. You think your struggles with temptation are small, personal failures or victories. They are so much more than that. When you feel that pull toward bitterness and you choose forgiveness instead, when you want to lash out in anger but you choose to hold your tongue, when you are tempted to despair but you choose to whisper a prayer of trust, you are not just winning a small moral skirmish. I tell you, in the courts of heaven, a trumpet sounds. You have just achieved a major triumph in the spiritual realm. You have enforced the victory my son won for you. You have pushed back the darkness and declared your allegiance to me. These are not small things. They are everything. There are words of destruction spoken against you that you never hear. Words of jealousy, of accusation, of negativity. They are like arrows aimed at your heart. But before they can ever reach you, they must pass before my throne. And I tell you, they fall silent and powerless at my feet. I am your shield. I am deflecting arrows of despair and accusation that you never even knew were aimed at you. You have felt their shadow pass over you as a momentary chill, but you have not felt their sting because I have taken the blow for you. You must fix this truth in your heart. Your victory is not something you are trying to win. It was secured, once and for all, at the cross. It is finished. The battles you face now are simply the enforcement of that victory. The enemy is a defeated foe who roars loudly to make you believe he still has power. Do not be intimidated by his noise. Walk in the quiet confidence of knowing that the war has already been won, and I am personally fighting these lingering battles on your behalf. You are not defending yourself. You are standing under my banner of eternal victory. You feel small sometimes, don't you? You look at the state of the world, at the size of the problems, and then you look at your own life and think, what difference can I possibly make? You feel that your prayers are just words hitting the ceiling, that your small acts of kindness are insignificant. My child, you are looking with human eyes. I want you to see with mine. That simple prayer you whispered this morning in your car, the one you felt was weak and distracted. I tell you, that prayer shifted spiritual atmospheres you cannot see. It was a powerful weapon in the unseen realm. It mattered. You remember that small act of kindness you showed someone weeks, maybe even years ago. A word of encouragement, a moment you took to listen, a gesture you have long since forgotten. You saw it as a fleeting moment, but I saw it as a seed of my love that I planted through you into the barren soil of a hurting heart. You may never see that seed sprout, but I see it, and I tell you, it is growing. Your private integrity, the choices you make when no one is watching, when you return the extra change, when you speak truth even when a lie would be easier, when you refuse to gossip. You think these moments are invisible. I see them as a shockwave of light that ripples out into the darkness. They declare that my kingdom is real and has a foothold in this world. You look at your life, and you think you are just holding on, just trying to survive the day. But I see you holding a line. With every day that you choose to trust me, you are holding a spiritual line for your family, for your community, for generations to come that you will never meet. The moments you choose me over the temptations of the world, when you choose peace over anxiety, you are empowering others in my kingdom to do the same. Your faith creates a pathway for others to follow. Your quiet, uncelebrated obedience, your decision to get up one more time and trust me after you have fallen, that is a thunderous declaration of allegiance in the courts of heaven. It silences the accuser and brings me immense glory. Never, ever believe your life is small or your faithfulness is wasted. You are dropping stones into a cosmic pond, and I see the ripples spreading into eternity. Let's talk about who you are. When you look in the mirror, you see your flaws all too clearly. You see the mistakes you made yesterday, the weakness you wrestle with today, the shame from a decade ago that still tries to cling to you. You see a flawed, struggling human being. But when I look at you, that is not what I see. I see my child, robed in the perfect righteousness of my Son, Jesus. I see a co-heir with Christ, someone who shares in his inheritance. You are royalty, even if you do not feel like it. You feel the brokenness of this world so acutely, and you think this is all there is. You must understand, your citizenship is not of this temporary place. You are a citizen of my eternal, unshakable kingdom. You are just a visitor here, an ambassador from a greater reality. And about those sins you keep replaying in your mind, the ones the enemy loves to remind you of, we need to settle this once and for all. I have not just forgiven them. I have removed them. I have cast them as far as the east is from the west. And then, I made a divine choice. I remember them no more. They do not exist in my mind when I look at you. The case is closed. The debt is paid in full. I am inviting you to stop punishing yourself for what I have already forgotten. You are my adopted child. That is not a consolation prize. It is the highest possible honor. It means you are not an employee trying to earn my favor. You are family. You have full, unrestricted access to the riches of my glory, to my presence, to my power. And to make sure you would never be alone, I have sent the Holy Spirit, the very essence of my power, my comfort, and my wisdom, to make his home within you. He is not just with you, he is in you. This changes everything. It means you are not defined by your past failures. You are defined by the glorious, secure future that I have planned and purchased for you. Stop looking backward at who you were. Lift your head and start walking in the reality of who I say you are, right now. You are mine. My child, we have just laid the foundation of who you truly are in me. It would grieve my heart if you walked away now, holding the knowledge of your identity, but not the understanding of your purpose. To stop here is to admire the plans for a glorious house, but refuse to step inside and see what it was built for. Please stay with me. The most significant part of our conversation is just beginning. My child, for too long you have thought of heaven as only a future destination, an escape from this world. I want to change your perspective. You are not just waiting for heaven. I have commissioned you as an active ambassador to bring the reality of heaven to earth, right here, right now. You are a carrier of my kingdom's culture. That feeling of powerlessness you have when you see the injustice and darkness in the world. I want to replace that with a sense of purpose. Every time you choose compassion over judgment, every act of justice and mercy you perform, no matter how small, you are laying another stone in the foundation of my new world. Look at the culture of this world. It is built on pride, on fear, on selfishness. You can see it is fading, crumbling under its own weight. But the culture of my kingdom, a culture of love, service, humility, and grace, is an ever-expanding reality. You are a part of that expansion. When you bring peace to a conflict, when you offer forgiveness, when you speak truth with love, You are establishing an outpost of my kingdom. Your inheritance is not just a cloudy, ethereal place. It is a real, tangible reign with me in a creation that will be perfectly restored. You are a royal priest, and your ministry has already begun. You are called to minister my presence, my healing, my order, to a creation that is groaning, waiting for redemption. I want you to walk with a new confidence. The kingdom you represent is an unstoppable force. The gates of hell itself, with all its power and strategy, cannot and will not prevail against it. It is an advancing, growing, world-changing reality. So, stop seeing yourself as a victim of the world's brokenness. See yourself as an agent of its restoration. Your home, your workplace, your community, that is your embassy. Your assignment is to live out the values of your true home country, to show those around you what life under my loving rule looks like. Do not be discouraged by the slow progress. You are part of a project that spans all of history, and I promise you, its final completion will be more glorious than you can possibly imagine. You are building something eternal. My child, I want you to step outside, even if only in your mind. I want you to see the world I have made. When you watch a sunset paint the sky with colors you could never replicate, or when you walk through a quiet forest and feel a peace settle over your soul, what is it that you are truly experiencing? You feel a sense of wonder, a touch of something divine. I tell you that breathtaking beauty is but a dim echo, a faint memory of the glory I originally intended. You are looking at a masterpiece that has been scarred and broken, yet its original beauty still shines through. The entire universe, from the smallest atom to the largest galaxy, is singing a song. It is a beautiful song, but it is in a minor key. It is a song of longing, a deep groan of anticipation for the day when I will make all things new. You are at the very center of this cosmic story. The scriptures tell you that all creation is waiting in eager expectation for the children of God to be revealed. Ponder that. The mountains and rivers, the stars and the seas are waiting for you to step into your true identity. When you feel that sense of hopelessness watching the news, seeing the destruction and pollution of this beautiful world, do not give in to despair. Understand that you are feeling what all of creation feels, a deep ache for restoration. Your role in this is not small. When you choose to be a good steward of what I have given you, when you care for the earth, when you show kindness to an animal, when you plant a garden, you are doing more than a good deed. You are prophesying with your actions. You are aligning your heart with my grand redemptive plan and declaring your faith in my promise to heal this broken world. Many have mistakenly thought that my plan is only about saving souls and escaping the earth. My child, my plan is so much bigger. I am not scrapping this creation. I am redeeming it. I am not just saving souls. I am redeeming the entire cosmos back to myself. The very laws of physics that govern your universe are subject to my command, and on a day that is coming, I will remake them in glorious perfection. You are an integral part of this. Every choice you make for goodness, for beauty, for healing, is a vote of confidence in my future. So do not see the world around you as a disposable stage for your life. See it as a groaning, waiting, beautiful creation that I love, and a creation that I am calling you to love and care for as a partner in its renewal. You are not just a spectator. You are a participant in a story of cosmic restoration. Now, we must talk about your struggle, that specific sin that tangles you up again and again, that bad habit you feel powerless against, that voice of accusation that screams in your ear the moment you fail. You have come to believe that this struggle is a battle between two equal and opposing forces, and you are caught, exhausted, in the middle. I am here to shatter that illusion. Your personal struggle with sin is merely a small skirmish in a war that has already been decisively, overwhelmingly won. You are not fighting for your freedom. I am asking you to live in the freedom that has already been bought for you. The enemy's only real power is in deception. His entire strategy is built on making you believe a lie. The lie that you are unforgivable. The lie that you will never be free. The lie that I am disappointed in you. The lie that he is stronger than I am in you. His accusations are loud, like an angry man shouting threats from behind a locked door. He makes a lot of noise, but he has no actual authority over you. I want you to picture this. When you choose to stand in the truth of who I say you are, when you place your faith not in your own strength, but in my finished work, you are standing on the neck of a defeated foe. He's under your feet. He only has power if you climb down and listen to his lies. When his accusations get loud, I want you to remember this. My son's blood speaks a better, final word over you. The enemy points to your sin, but my son's blood points to the cross and declares, paid in full. The enemy calls you guilty, but my son's blood calls you righteous. His voice is a whisper of grace that silences the roar of condemnation forever. Do not mistake the thrashing of a dying power for true strength. What you are experiencing is the desperate rage of an enemy whose end has already been written. He knows his time is short. Your life, the very fact that you are listening to me now, filled with my spirit, is a living testament to his ultimate failure and my ultimate triumph. So, when that temptation comes, do not see it as a sign of your weakness, but as an opportunity to enforce your victory. Stand firm, not in your own power, but in the unshakable reality that the war is over. You are the winning side. My child, let us discuss what happens when you pray. You often feel your words are just fleeting thoughts, disappearing into the air, unheard and unanswered. You feel the weariness of praying for the same person or the same situation for years, with no visible change. I want to pull back the curtain for a moment and show you the reality of your prayers. They are not empty words. In the unseen realm, your prayers have substance. They have weight. They even have a fragrance that is pleasing to me. They rise like incense, and they are gathered in golden bowls that stand before my very throne. They are a real and tangible force in the universe, a force that I, in my sovereignty, have chosen to use to accomplish my will on earth. When you persist in prayer, do you truly think you are nagging me? Do you believe you are trying to convince a reluctant God to act? Never. You are not nagging me. You are partnering with me. You are standing in the gap for someone you love. You are aligning your heart with my own desires for them. You are giving me the invitation, the human cooperation, that I have ordained as a channel for my power to flow into a situation. Your persistence is not a test of my willingness, but a demonstration of your faith and love. There are breakthroughs in the lives of your family and friends, in your city, even in the nations, that are waiting for you to ask on their behalf. This is a sacred ministry, a priestly duty of eternal significance. You have the ability, through prayer, to influence hardened hearts. You can shift the course of events. This is not a power you wield on your own, but an authority I have given to you as my beloved child. You are a co-laborer with me. So do not grow weary. Do not lose heart. When you pray, you are engaging in one of the most significant and powerful activities a human being can undertake. The next time you feel your prayer is weak or worthless, I want you to remember the image of those golden bowls before my throne, filling with the sweet incense of your words. Your prayers are moving my heart and moving my hand. Do not stop. You are making an eternal difference. I know the hardest part of your walk with me is often the waiting. You have prayed with all your heart. You have trusted with all your might, and yet you are met with silence. In that silence, your mind begins to race. You wonder if I have heard you. You wonder if I am angry. You begin to believe that my silence is absence. My child, I am here to tell you that my silence is not my absence. Often, I am using the silence to do my deepest work in you. I am cultivating your faith. I am teaching you to quiet your soul and listen for my voice, not in the roaring thunder, but in the gentle whisper. You are like a seed planted in the dark, silent soil. You feel nothing is happening. But in that darkness, I am building a root system strong enough to support the blessing that is about to break through the surface. Sometimes my answer is no, and that no can feel like the deepest rejection. You see the good and beautiful thing you are asking for, but I see the entire path it would lead you down. I see the heartache it would eventually cause, the way it would pull you away from my best for you. My no is not a rejection of you. It is a redirection of you. It is my loving hand on your shoulder, guiding you away from a hidden cliff. Trust that my no is born from a love deeper and a wisdom wider than your own. And then there is the word you find most difficult: wait. My wait is not a punishment. It is a holy period of preparation. I love you too much to give you a blessing that you are not yet ready to handle. The blessing, given too soon, could crush you. So, in the waiting, I am stretching your character. I am increasing your capacity. I am making you into the person who can not only receive the promise but steward it well for my glory. Remember, I operate outside of time. What feels like an agonizing delay to you is, in my eternal perspective, perfectly timed for the greatest possible impact. Your part is to trust me in the waiting. And I tell you, this act of trusting me in the silence, in the delay, in the unanswered questions, is one of the most profound and beautiful acts of worship you can offer me. It honors me more than you will ever know. You have now seen a glimpse of the cosmos through my eyes and the wisdom of my timing. Do not let this grandeur be the reason you turn away, satisfied with the vastness but missing the intimacy. It would disappoint me for you to understand the universal plan but not hear about your unique, your placeable role within it. The story of the stars is nothing without the story of your heart. Stay, and let me show you where you fit. For so long, your faith has felt like a very private, even isolated, journey. It has been about you and me, and you have often felt alone in your struggles and your victories. But I need you to see the bigger picture. You are not an isolated believer. You are not a solitary stone sitting in a field. You are a living stone, and I, the master builder, am fitting you into a grand and holy temple. You are an essential part of a global, living structure that is my dwelling place on earth. Look around at the other believers in your life. I know it can be difficult. You see their flaws, their imperfections, their annoying habits. You have been hurt by people in the church. It is easy to want to retreat, to keep your faith to yourself. But I have designed you to be connected. Your unique gifts, your personality, your story, they were not given to you for you alone. They are designed to support and strengthen the entire body. You see yourself as a single, chipped brick, but I see exactly where you fit in the wall. The place where you are weak is where the stone next to you is strong. Your strength is designed to cover their weakness. You need them, and they need you. This is the great mystery. The church is not a building you go to on a Sunday morning. It is the living, breathing body of Christ, and you are it. This spiritual house is my primary instrument for displaying my multifaceted wisdom to this watching world. Therefore, your health and growth are inextricably linked to the health and growth of my other children. You cannot be a healthy, thriving believer in isolation, When you bear another's burdens, when you offer grace, when you serve, when you love even when it is hard, you are not just being nice. You are participating in the construction of my holy temple. Stop looking for the perfect church, filled with perfect stone. It does not exist. Instead, I am calling you to be the church, right where you are. Commit yourself to the messy, beautiful, essential work of being fitted together with other imperfect stones, so that together you can become a holy habitation for my spirit. My child, I see how you look at the lives of others. You see the gifts, the platforms, the callings I have given them, and a question whispers in your heart, what about me? Is my life as important? This comparison creates a quiet ache, a feeling of being left behind or overlooked. I am here to silence that voice with my truth. Your calling is not a generic assignment. It is a custom-designed masterpiece, and I have entrusted it only to you. Do not covet the calling of another. To do so is to misunderstand the unique and irreplaceable role you play in my kingdom. I want you to think of your life, your entire story, as a perfectly crafted key. The combination of your specific past, with all its joys and sorrows, your particular passions, the things that make your heart come alive, even your healed wounds and your lingering weaknesses. All of it forms the intricate ridges and grooves of this key. There are doors in this world, doors to human hearts, doors of opportunity, that only your unique key can open. If you spend your time wishing you had someone else's key, those doors I have assigned to you will remain locked. I have placed you in your specific time and history, in your specific city, in your specific family, for a divine purpose. It is no accident that you are where you are, right now. The people in your life, at your job, in your neighborhood, in your home, are your mission field. You do not need a grand stage or a title to begin your work. Your mission field is the person right in front of you. There are hearts I have prepared to receive my love specifically and only through you, through your unique way of speaking, through the understanding that comes from your unique experiences, through your specific touch. You are my chosen vessel, designed to carry a particular fragrance of my Son's love to a world that desperately needs it. Someone else may carry a different fragrance, but the world needs yours, too. So much of your anxiety comes from striving, from trying to figure out your grand purpose, and then working frantically to achieve it. Let me release you from that burden. Fulfilling your mission is not about striving. It is about abiding. It is about staying connected to me, walking with me, listening to my voice each day. As you simply walk with me, I will lead you to the doors I want you to open. I will bring the people to you that I want you to touch. The pressure is not on you to perform. It is simply on you to remain in me and let me work through you. So, stop looking to your left and your right. Look at your own feet on the path I have laid out before you. That is where your sacred, unique, and infinitely important mission unfolds, one step at a time. Take the next step with me. Just as I have entrusted you with a unique mission, I am now presenting you with a unique moment to fulfill a part of it. If your heart is stirred to be a vessel of my voice to the nations, then know this is a divine appointment to partner with me. Your support is not mere money. It is seed for a global harvest, a river of my living water sent to souls I have prepared to hear this message through you. I declare over you now what my word promises. Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap. For every seed you sowed into this ministry, I will command 1,000-fold return of favor and protection over your household. This is a sacred moment where your mission and my will intersect. Act now. Click the super thanks, join as a member, or use the link below to release your offering. and advance my word. You hold a weapon of immense power, and you may not even realize it. It is your story. You tend to think of your testimony as a quiet account of your past, perhaps something to be shared timidly, if at all. You worry it is not dramatic enough, or you feel the shame of the before parts and fear the judgment of others. My child, I see your story very differently. I see it as a sharp, polished sword. When you have the courage to share how I met you in your brokenness, how I led you out of your darkness, how my faithfulness has carried you, you are not just recounting a memory. You are swinging that sword in the spiritual realm. With every word of truth about what I have done, you are cutting the chains of deception off of someone else who is listening. Your story of my grace demolishes the enemy's lies in their life. It slays the giants of fear and hopelessness that stand before them. Your vulnerability is not a weakness to be hidden. It is the very channel through which my strength is made perfect. When you stand and say, I do not have it all together, but I know the one who does, my power floods the room. When you admit, I was completely broken, and he put me back together, my healing becomes tangible to those who are in pieces. Do not hide your scars. They do not disqualify you. They qualify you. They are the undeniable proof of my power to heal and restore. They are a roadmap out of the wilderness for others who are lost and wounded. The scripture is true. You overcome the accuser by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of your testimony. The blood of my Son provides the victory, but the word of your testimony is how you proclaim and enforce that victory on the battlefield of this life. Never believe your story is too small or insignificant. Your story of redemption is a vital chapter in the grand saga of my eternal love for humanity, a story I am writing through the ages. When you declare what I have done for you, you are doing more than sharing history. You are making a prophetic declaration of what I can and will do again in the lives of those who hear. You are releasing hope into the atmosphere. The simple, honest act of sharing your story is like planting a seed. You may not see the harvest, but I tell you, that seed can and will bear eternal fruit in a heart you never expected. So be brave. Ask me for the opportunity, and when it comes, open your mouth and tell the truth about me. Wield your weapon. Slay some giants. The generational legacy you are forging, I want to lift your eyes beyond the horizon of your own life. Your decisions, your faith, your struggles, they are not just about you. You are part of a long and sacred story, and your life is forging a legacy for generations you may never meet. Every decision of faith you make today is creating a pathway of blessing for your descendants tomorrow. I want you to see your family line as a river. For generations, perhaps, a current of fear, or addiction, or anger, or poverty has flowed through it. It has become a negative, destructive pattern. When you, in your own life, face that same current and by my grace, you choose to stand firm. When you choose trust over fear, forgiveness over bitterness, generosity over greed, you are doing something of immense, generational significance. You are building a dam against that darkness. Even more, you are digging a new channel, creating a new tributary of blessing that will flow from your life into the future. Your children and your children's children will walk in a freedom they may never understand was purchased by your quiet, difficult battles today. You are a vital link in a great relay of faith. The baton has been passed to you by those who came before. For some of you, that baton was handed to you securely by loving, faithful parents or mentors. For others, it was dropped, and you had to stoop down and pick it out of the dirt yourself. Either way, the baton is now in your hand. Your responsibility is to run the race I have set before you with all your might, to guard that faith, and to pass it on securely to the next generation. The race is so much bigger than just your lap. The prayers you pray today for your family, for your community, will continue to be answered long after you are gone from this earth. You are planting trees of righteousness, and you may not live to sit in their full shade, but future generations will find refuge there because of your faithfulness. Do not be discouraged if your family does not seem to be responding, or if you feel you are fighting alone. Your faithfulness is a gift not just to me, but to a future you will not see with your earthly eyes. You are breaking chains of generational bondage that you may not even be aware of. Your stand for purity, for integrity, for love, is sending shockwaves into the spiritual realm and setting a new course for your family line. See your private struggles in this new light. They are not small, personal defeats. They are heroic battles for the destiny of your descendants. Run your race well. I am with you, and the legacy you are building is an eternal one. Ahevivim. The unfathomable depth of my love for you, my precious child. If there is one thing I want to settle in your soul today, it is the truth of my love for you. You have been taught that you must earn love, that it is conditional, that it can be withdrawn if you fail. That is the way of the world, but it is not my way. I need you to understand that my love for you is not based on your performance. It is based on my character. I love you because I am love. It is my very nature. I loved you before I laid the foundations of the earth. My love is your very origin. It is the reason you exist. You were conceived in my heart before you were ever formed in your mother's womb. The cross is not just a historical event. It is an eternal declaration of your infinite worth to me. Look at the cross, and you will see the price I was willing to pay to have a relationship with you. It is the ultimate answer to the question, am I loved? The answer is a resounding, eternal yes. So let this truth dismantle the lies you have believed. There is nothing you can do to make me love you more, and there is nothing you can do to make me love you less. Read that again. My love for you is not a battery that runs down when you make mistakes. It is the sun. It never diminishes. It simply shines. You can choose to step into the shade of your own guilt or fear, but you can never, ever make the sun go out. My love is not a passive, sentimental emotion. It is an active, pursuing, relentless force. While you were still far from me, I was running toward you. I am not waiting for you to clean yourself up to come to me. I embrace you in your mess and clean you up myself. The scriptures say that I delight in you, that I rejoice over you with singing. Can you imagine that? The creator of the universe, singing over you. That is how I feel about you. You are not just one among billions to me. You are my unique, beloved child, and my heart delights in you. If you could truly grasp the sheer, immeasurable magnitude of my love for you, it would transform your every fear into unshakable peace. It is the key that unlocks everything. Open your heart right now and let me flood you with it. Let it wash away every feeling of unworthiness, every fear of rejection. Let my perfect love cast out all of your fear. We have spoken of the powerful mission I have for you and the legacy that will flow from your life. But do not mistake the work you will do for the reason I love you. My heart aches at the thought of you leaving now, believing your value is measured by your assignment. The deepest truth, the very source of your strength and purpose, is what I long to share with you next. Do not go before you have received the greatest gift of all. You live with a quiet, persistent fear that your relationship with me is fragile, that you are one mistake away from being disqualified. You strive to be good enough, to hold up your end of the deal, and you live with the anxiety that you will fail. My child, I want to set you free from this exhausting way of living. Your relationship with me is not a contract based on your performance. It is an unbreakable covenant based on the finished work of my Son. A contract can be broken if one party fails to meet the terms. But a covenant, sealed in blood, is an unconditional, one-sided promise that I make to you, and I cannot lie or fail. This covenant is more binding and more permanent than the laws of the universe that I spoke into being. The law of gravity is less certain than my promise to you. When I look at you, I do not see a list of your recent successes and failures. Because you have placed your faith in my Son, I see you completely covered in His perfect righteousness. I see you as holy, blameless, and pure. Not because of what you have done, but because of what He has done for you. My forgiveness is not partial or temporary. It is not a clean slate that you will inevitably dirty again tomorrow. It is total and eternal. Your entire lifetime of sin, past, present, and future, was nailed to the cross and paid for. It is finished. To guarantee this promise, I have placed my Holy Spirit within you. He is the seal of our covenant, the down payment, the legal and binding guarantee of your full inheritance. He is the proof that you belong to me forever. So I want you to change the picture you have in your mind. You see your salvation as a fragile glass that you are holding, terrified you will drop it. That is the wrong image. Your salvation is not a glass you hold. It is a mighty, impenetrable fortress of solid rock, and I am the one holding you safely inside it. The walls are my power. The gate is my Son's blood. The foundation is my unchangeable promise. You are not holding on by the tips of your fingers. You are being held in the palm of my omnipotent hand. No one and nothing, not your doubts, not your failures, not the powers of hell, can ever snatch you away. You are secure. Now, rest in that security. Stop striving and start resting. My child, you have often felt like a victim of your circumstances, tossed about by the currents of this world, intimidated by the darkness you see. You pray as if you are powerless, begging for help from a distant king. I want to radically change the way you see yourself and the way you pray. Because you are in my Son, Jesus, you have been given His authority. This is not something you have to earn or strive for. It is a gift, a legal reality based on your position in Him. I want you to think of this authority like the badge given to a trusted officer. The officer does not have power in himself, but the badge represents the full power and authority of the government that sent him. The name of Jesus is your badge. It is not a magic word, but a declaration of the reality that you are my official representative, and the full power of heaven is backing you up. You have been fighting for victory, and it has left you exhausted. I am telling you today to stop fighting for victory and to start fighting from a position of established, unshakable victory. The war was won at the cross. The enemy was disarmed and made a public spectacle. Now, your role is to enforce that victory in your own life and your sphere of influence. When fear, anxiety, or temptation comes, you do not need to cower. You have the authority to speak directly to it and command it to go, in the name of Jesus. You have the power to bind and to loose. This means you can stand in your home, in your workplace, in your heart, and legally forbid what is against my will, strife, fear, sickness, lack, and permit what is aligned with my will, peace, love, health, and abundance. Walk not in fear, but in the quiet, humble confidence of a child of the King of the universe. This is not arrogance. Arrogance comes from trusting in your own power. True authority comes from knowing you have no power of your own, but that you have been fully deputized by the one who has all power. And know this: this authority is not for your personal gain or for building your own kingdom. I have vested it in you for the expansion of my kingdom and the liberation of captives. Use it to speak peace over your anxious family. Use it to break the chains of addiction over a friend. Use it to push back the darkness in your community. Stop seeing yourself as a pawn on the chessboard of life. I have made you a king and a priest. It is time for you to learn how to walk in the authority I have already given you. You feel so alone sometimes, don't you? You look at your struggles, your doubts, your walk of faith, and you feel as though no one else could possibly understand. Your experience of church can sometimes feel small or disconnected, leaving you with a sense of spiritual isolation. My child, I want to open your eyes to the magnificent reality of the family you belong to. Your brothers and sisters are not just the people you see on a Sunday morning. They are in every nation, every tribe, every tongue on this planet. You are part of a vast, global family, millions upon millions strong, all connected by my spirit. You are more connected than you could ever imagine. I want you to see it this way. You are all part of one spiritual body, one global network. When you are feeling weak, when your faith is faltering, know this: the passionate prayers of a saint in a small, remote village on the other side of the world are strengthening you in this very moment. You are being upheld by the faith of believers you will never meet on this side of eternity. And likewise, your faithfulness today, your choice to trust me in your trial, is an encouragement that ripples out across the globe, strengthening a believer in a bustling city who is on the verge of giving up. You are never, ever alone in your fight. I am weaving the unique cultures, the different languages, the beautiful diversity of this world into one stunning, multifaceted expression of my church. It is a tapestry of immense beauty. The woman you read about being persecuted for her faith in a hostile nation is your sister. And the scripture is true that when one part of the body suffers, the entire body suffers with it. Her pain is your pain. I call you to pray for her, not as a stranger, but as your own beloved family. Her courage is your inheritance, her faithfulness, a testament to the same power that lives in you. You are a vital member of the most significant, most enduring, and most powerful community in all of human history. You belong to a family that spans continents and centuries, a family that the gates of hell cannot overcome. Let this truth sink deep into your soul and dissolve your loneliness. You are deeply connected. You are profoundly loved. You belong. I see your secret life of service. I see the times you serve when no one is watching, the sacrifices you make that no one knows about, the prayers you whisper when you are alone. In a world that craves recognition and applause, you often wonder if your small, hidden acts of faithfulness even matter. My beloved, they matter more than you can possibly comprehend. Every cup of cold water you give in my name, every quiet act of kindness, every moment you choose service over selfishness carries an eternal weight of glory. You think of them like pennies dropped into a vast ocean, lost forever. I see them as solid gold bricks, and with them, I am building your eternal reward. Nothing done for me is ever lost or wasted. Every sacrifice is an investment in an eternal treasury, one that is beyond the reach of rust, moths, or market crashes. I want us to be clear about what these rewards are. You are not earning your salvation. That is a free gift, priceless and precious, bought for you by the blood of my Son. You can never earn it, and you do not have to. The rewards I am preparing for you are not a wage you are owed. They are my joyful, delighted response to your loving obedience. They are the celebration I, as a proud and loving father, am planning for a child who has honored me with their life. I am preparing crowns for you, not of earthly gold that will tarnish, but crowns of righteousness, life, and glory. These are not trophies for your own ego, but honors that you will one day have the joy of casting at the feet of the Lamb in an act of eternal worship. But the greatest reward is not a place in heaven or a crown on your head. The ultimate reward is me. The purpose of all your service, all your faithfulness, is that it deepens your capacity for a more intimate, more profound relationship with me, forever. Your reward is getting more of your heart's truest desire, me. So do not grow weary in doing good. Do not lose heart when your service goes unnoticed by the world. I see it all. Nothing is hidden from my eyes. And I tell you, the applause of heaven is waiting for you. The celebration is being prepared. Your faithfulness is seen, is cherished, and it will be rewarded beyond your wildest dreams. My child, let us speak of your future, of your eternal home. You have been given vague and unappealing pictures of what lies beyond this life, of floating on clouds as a disembodied spirit. This is a pale shadow of the glorious reality I have prepared for you. My ultimate plan is not to scrap this world you love, but to heal it. I am not abandoning my creation. I am liberating it. I will wash this current world with a purifying fire and remake it in glorious, breathtaking perfection. The new heaven and the new earth will be a physical, tangible reality, and you will not be a ghost floating through it. I promise you, you will receive a resurrected, glorified body, a body that will never get sick, never grow tired, and never die. A body perfectly suited to explore and enjoy a perfected creation forever. All the good things you enjoy in this life are just a foretaste, a dim preview of what is to come. The joy of creativity, the beauty of relationships, the wonder of discovery, the pleasure of good work, all of these will not be erased, but will be perfected and amplified beyond your imagination. Think of the most beautiful place you have ever seen on this earth. I tell you, it will look like a faded, black and white photograph compared to the vibrant, living reality of the world that is coming. And in that world, the deepest pains of this life will be gone forever. There will be no more sorrow, for I will have turned it all to joy. There will be no more pain, for all bodies will be whole. There will be no more death, for life will have swallowed it up completely. The grief that weighs so heavily on your heart from the loss of those you love, I myself will reach out and wipe every last tear from your eyes. The separation, the goodbyes, the ache of absence will be no more. And best of all, the veil that now separates us will be torn away. You will see me face to face. You will finally know me as you have always been fully known by me. This is not a fairy tale. This is the sure and certain hope I have secured for you. It is your destiny. Let this hope be an anchor for your soul, firm and secure, holding you steady through the storms of this temporary life. You now hold the unbreakable promise of your security in me and the glorious hope of your future. It would wound my heart for you to grasp your eternal destination but miss the power and authority you can walk in right now. Do not be content with a future guarantee when I am about to equip you for a present victory. Stay with me, for I wish to show you how to live as the triumphant champion you already are. As you run this race of faith, you often feel you are running alone. You look at the heroes of the faith in my word, Abraham, Esther, David, Paul, and they can seem like distant, almost mythical figures whose standard of faith is impossibly high. You feel your own faith is so weak, so small in comparison. I want to give you a new perspective. I want you to picture your life as a race taking place in a great, cosmic stadium. You are down on the track. Your legs are weary, your lungs are burning, and you feel you cannot take another step. Now, I want you to look up into the stands. They are not empty. They are packed to overflowing with every single saint who has gone before you. All the names you know and countless millions you do not. They are not sitting silently, observing you with judgment. I tell you, they are on their feet. They are roaring your name. They are cheering you on with a love and an understanding that comes from having run the race themselves. They are the great cloud of witnesses. Your lives are not meant to be a source of intimidation for you. They are meant to be your proof. They are proof that I am faithful through all generations. They are proof that an ordinary, flawed human being, filled with my spirit, can live a life of profound faith in the midst of a broken world. Their victory is not a rebuke to you. It is a promise of your own. You are running the same race they finished, and their presence in the stands is a testament to the fact that the finish line is real and the prize is worth it. You are surrounded by their love and their prayers. This is not just a poetic idea. It is a spiritual reality that upholds you. They are your spiritual family, your elders, your champions. They have faced what you face. They have felt the fears you feel. They have fought the battles you fight. And they stand now in triumph, interceding for you, urging you on, knowing with full certainty that with my help, you can make it. And one day, my beloved, you will cross that finish line. You will join their number, and you yourself will become an encourager, a witness in the stands, cheering on those who come after you. You are part of a great, unbroken chain of faith that cannot be defeated. So run on. You are not alone. You are surrounded. Let us talk about the moments you set aside for me. You come to me in prayer, and within seconds, your mind is wandering to your to-do list, to a conversation from yesterday, to what you need from the grocery store. You try to sing psalms of praise, and you feel self-conscious about your voice. Or you look at the person next to you with their hands raised and tears streaming down their face, and you feel nothing but a hollow emptiness. Guilt floods your heart, and a voice whispers, "You are a fraud. You are not a real worshiper." My child, I want to silence that voice right now. When your mind wanders, I do not see a faithless heart. I see a human heart that desires to connect with me, even amidst the chaos of life. That desire is, in itself, a beautiful act of worship. You see your worship like a child's messy crayon drawing. It is outside the lines. The colors are a bit strange, and it is nothing like the masterpieces you see others creating. You feel ashamed of it. But I am the loving Father who takes that crayon drawing, and to me, it is the most beautiful piece of art in the universe. I do not hang it on a refrigerator. I hang it in the main gallery of heaven, because it came from your heart. It is the sincerity I treasure, not the performance. I am not seeking perfect performance. I am seeking a sincere, authentic heart that is turned toward me. Your cracked and off-key psalm, whispered in a moment of honest need, is a more beautiful symphony to my ears than the technically perfect performance of a choir of angels who sing only from duty. You have been taught that worship is confined to a Sunday morning, to a set of songs. That is such a small part of it. Your entire life can be an act of worship. When you approach your work with integrity and excellence, you are worshiping me. When you show patience to a difficult family member, you are worshiping me. When you create something beautiful, when you care for your body, when you find joy in the simple gifts of the day, that is all worship. And you must know, your worship in the midst of a trial, when you feel nothing, when you have no strength, when you choose to lift your hands even when your heart is heavy, that is a sacrifice of praise. It is the most precious and powerful worship of all. It releases a fragrance in heaven that honors me more than you know. So release yourself from the burden of perfect worship. Just bring me your real, imperfect, sincere heart. That is all I have ever wanted. You have heard that your sincere heart is the most beautiful offering, and your very life is an act of worship. If you feel the desire now to offer a tangible expression of that worship, then understand the power of this moment. Your gift becomes a holy fire, carrying the light of these words into the darkest corners of the earth. Your giving is incense rising before my throne, a fragrant offering that provides spiritual manna to the hungry and fuels the expansion of my kingdom. Hear my promise to the cheerful giver. I am able to make all grace abound toward you, that you, always having all sufficiency in all things, may have an abundance for every good work. As you release your gift, I release over you a blessing that cannot be contained. This is your altar, and this is your opportunity to lay down a sacrifice of praise that will echo for eternity. Worship me now with your substance. Use the buttons below or the link in the description to give as an act of your heart's devotion. I see the pain you carry from wounds inflicted by other believers. I see the frustration that builds in you over the flaws and failures of my church. I see your temptation to withdraw, to isolate yourself, to believe that your walk of faith is safer and purer when you go it alone. My child, this is a masterful strategy of the enemy. He fears your unity more than almost anything else. He is like a wolf who circles a great flock of sheep. He knows he stands no chance against the flock when it is huddled together, under the protection of the shepherd. So, he works tirelessly to isolate a single sheep. He whispers offenses, magnifies irritations, encourages pride, and promotes a spirit of criticism. He wants you to believe you are better off on your own, because an isolated sheep is a vulnerable sheep, an easy target. I did not create you to be alone. I created you to be a part of a body, a family. I said that where 2 or 3 of you are gathered in my name, there is a special, powerful manifestation of my presence that is not available to the individual alone. There is a synergistic power that is unleashed in holy unity. Your individual weaknesses are designed to be covered by the strengths of others in the community. The place where you are impatient is meant to be covered by your brother's patience. The place where your sister is weak in faith is meant to be supported by your strength. You were designed to need each other. Bearing one another's burdens is not just a nice suggestion. It is a fulfillment of the very law of Christ. This is why I gave you this command above so many others. Love one another. Why? Because your love for one another is my most compelling evidence to a watching, skeptical world that I am real. When they see you, with all your different backgrounds, personalities, and opinions, loving each other sacrificially, forgiving each other when it is hard, and standing together despite your differences, they are seeing a miracle that cannot be explained by human nature. It is a sign and a wonder that points directly to me. So I call you back. Do not abandon my flock. Yes, it is messy. Yes, it is filled with imperfect people, just like you. But it is my chosen instrument on this earth. We engage. Udev. Ask for forgiveness. Bear with the faults of others. The power that can reshape society is not in your individual perfection. It is in your unified, loving community. Let us speak plainly about the things in you that you despise. That weakness you have fought against for years. That short temper, that sharp tongue, that persistent anxiety, that area of your character that feels hopelessly flawed. You see it as a liability, a deep source of shame. You work so hard to hide it, to manage it, to pretend it is not there. You believe this weakness disqualifies you from being truly used by me. My child, you have it completely backward. Your weakness is the very place I have chosen to display my strength. You see your weakness as a great crack in the clay pot of your life. You are terrified that everything good will leak out through that crack, so you spend your energy trying to patch it and hide it. I want you to see that crack differently. It is the very opening through which my power, my grace, my living water is designed to flow out of you to refresh a thirsty world. A perfect, sealed, self-reliant vessel is useless to me. I need a vessel with a crack, an opening, a place of acknowledging need. Your greatest moments of impact in this life will often come not from your impressive strengths, but from your surrendered weaknesses. The world is not changed by your self-sufficiency. It is changed by my sufficiency shining through your inadequacy. Let me be perfectly clear. My power does not flow through your self-reliance. It flows through your complete dependence on me. My grace is not attracted to your strength. It is attracted to your need. It is when you are most aware of your inadequacy, when you finally stop saying, "I can do this on my own," and you whisper, "My God, I cannot do this without you," that is the moment my strength rushes in to meet you and is perfected in you. Do not despise your limitations. They are the very things that keep you tethered to me, that keep you humble and reliant on my grace. I chose the foolish things of this world to shame the wise. I chose the weak things to shame the strong. I chose you, not in spite of your weaknesses, but because of them. They are the stage upon which I will display my glory. So stop hiding them and start surrendering them. You look at your daily life and often see a series of mundane, repetitive, and ordinary events. You see a commute to work, a list of chores, errands to run, predictable conversations. You believe that your spiritual life is something separate, something that happens when you pray, read my word, or go to church. I want to transform your view of your ordinary day. I want you to understand that there are no chance encounters in your life. I am the one who is orchestrating your steps and your stops. Your daily routine is the canvas upon which I desire to paint masterpieces of my grace. You look at your calendar and you see a list of your tasks and appointments. But underneath your writing, in invisible ink, is my schedule for you, filled with divine appointments. The interruption you find so frustrating, the colleague who stops you in the hallway when you are already late, the unexpected phone call from a friend who just needs to talk, the traffic jam that derails your schedule, these are not accidents. They are often my invitations. They are the main event, not the distraction. The person next to you in the checkout line, the server at your table, the new neighbor who moves in next door. I am constantly placing opportunities right in front of you to be my hands, my feet, my voice in the world. You do not need a grand stage to have a grand purpose. Your sphere of influence, your family, your workplace, your neighborhood, is your sacred mission field. It hath been specifically assigned to you. I ask you to be ready in season and out of season, for you never know when a divine moment will occur. This requires a new way of seeing. I want you to ask me each morning, "Father, show me your appointments for my day. Help me to see the people you want me to see and hear the things you want me to hear." Then, walk through your day with your spiritual eyes and ears wide open. Look for me in the ordinary. Expect me in the unexpected. Do not long for a different life or a different main field. Find me in the beauty and the challenge of the one you have right now. Your daily, mundane life is pregnant with divine possibility. You have seen the beauty I find in your imperfect worship and the world-changing power I unleash in your unity. All of this is a prelude to the single most liberating truth I can offer you. To stop listening now would be to learn the notes of a song, but refuse to hear its beautiful chorus. It would disappoint me deeply for you to miss this, for the very key to the freedom you have been searching for is what I am about to give you. The very idea of surrender feels like a defeat to you. It feels like giving up, losing control. Your knuckles are white from clinging so tightly to your plans, your worries, your relationships, your future. You believe that if you do not manage it all, it will all fall apart. My child, the knot in your stomach, the tension in your shoulders, the anxious thoughts that circle in your mind, That is the feeling of you trying to carry a weight I never, ever designed you to bear. You were not created to carry the burden of your own future. That is my job. The freedom you desperately long for is not found in gaining more control, but in the courageous act of letting go. I want you to picture your life as a boat on a raging river. You are at the helm, frantically trying to steer against the powerful current. You are exhausted, you are terrified, and you are making no progress. You are taking on water. Total surrender is not about abandoning the boat and letting yourself drown. It is about having the profound courage to let go of the wheel and invite me, the one who created the river and who commands the current, to take the helm. The moment you release your grip and trust me with the navigation is the moment you can finally breathe. It is the moment peace floods your heart, even while the waves are still crashing. My hands are on the wheel. You can finally rest. This is a moment-by-moment process. It is a continual choice to trust my loving sovereignty over your own limited understanding. Surrender is not a sign of weakness. It is the ultimate act of strength and faith. It is the key that unlocks the full resources of my kingdom in your life. The instant you say, "I cannot do this," I give this to you. I trust you, is the instant my infinite power is released on your behalf. So let's do that now. What are you clinging to so tightly? Your finances, your children, your health, your desire for a relationship. Open your hands. Speak the name of that worry and consciously release it from your grip into mine. Feel the freedom. Feel the release. This is how you were meant to live, not in anxious control, but in peaceful, trusting surrender. I want to talk to you about the heaviest burden you carry. It is the memory of a wound, a betrayal so deep that it plays over and over in your mind. I see how you nurture it, how you keep the anger warm, believing that your unforgiveness is the only justice you will ever get. You believe you are holding that person prisoner with your bitterness, but I want you to see the truth. Picture that unforgiveness as a heavy, rusted chain. In your mind, you have wrapped one end tightly around the person who hurt you. But my beloved child, look closer. The other end of the chain is wrapped around your own ankle. You are not holding them prisoner. You are chained to them. You cannot walk forward into the freedom I have for you while you are dragging the weight of that person and that pain behind you. Forgiveness is not about them. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks your own shackle. It is the act that sets you free. Let us be very clear about what forgiveness is and what it is not. Forgiveness is not you saying, "What you did was okay. What they did was not okay. It was a grievous wound, and I see every tear it has cost you." Forgiveness is not forgetting the pain, as if it never happened. Forgiveness is the courageous and supernatural act of you looking at the debt that person owes you and choosing to cancel it. It is you saying, "What you did was so significant, the wound so deep, that I can no longer carry the burden of being your judge and jury. I am handing this person and this entire situation over to the only righteous judge, to me." You are not letting them off the hook. You are taking yourself off the hook of bitterness and hooking them onto mine. You are releasing them into my hands for my justice, which is far more perfect and complete than your anger could ever be. This is a supernatural act. In your own strength, it feels impossible, and it is. Your feelings will scream for justice, for revenge. That is why you cannot do this alone. It is only possible through my spirit within you. When you choose to forgive, you are participating in my ministry of reconciliation. You are releasing my power into the world. Your single act of forgiveness can break cycles of bitterness that have poisoned your family for generations. It is a world-changing act of spiritual warfare that brings my kingdom's culture of grace to the earth. So today I invite you to be brave. Bring that person, that wound, before me now. Speak the words even if your feelings have not caught up. In the authority of Jesus' name, I choose to forgive. Say their name. Release them to me. Then, feel the chain fall from your own ankle and walk on, free. My child, you have a tendency to divide your life into two categories. There is your spiritual life, the moments you spend in prayer, in worship, reading my word. And then there is your real life, the endless cycle of work, chores, errands, and responsibilities. You see one as sacred and the other as secular, and you live with a quiet frustration that you do not have more time for the sacred because you are so consumed by the mundane. I am here today to completely demolish that wall in your mind. In my kingdom, there is no separation between the sacred and the secular. I am not just present in your spiritual highs. I am intimately and joyfully present in your daily, mundane moments. I want to give you new eyes to see your day. You see a sink full of dirty dishes and you sigh with the weariness of a repetitive, meaningless chore. I invite you to see it as an altar. As you stand there, with your hands in the warm water, you can make the task a holy act. As you wash each dish, you can thank me for the food that was on it, for the provision in your home. You can pray for each person who ate from that plate. You can do that simple task with a heart full of love and service for your family. In that moment, the water becomes holy water, the sink becomes your altar, and your chore becomes a profound act of worship. I am right there with you, in the substance. Your workplace is not a distraction from my purpose for you. It is a primary place of your purpose. The way you handle a difficult client with patience, the way you perform your tasks with integrity when no one is watching, the way you offer a word of encouragement to a stressed colleague. This is powerful ministry. Your car during your commute can be a sanctuary of prayer. Your kitchen table can be a place of holy communion. Stop waiting for your life to become spiritual. Start inviting me into the life you actually have. Holiness is not found in escaping your reality, but in inviting me into every part of it. Your faithfulness in the small, unseen, mundane tasks is the very training ground where I am building the character and the strength required for the greater responsibilities I have for you. Do not despise these small moments. They are the very substance of a life that is deeply and beautifully pleasing to me. Despair is a heavy blanket that tries to smother you. It whispers to you that your situation is hopeless, that things will never change, that it is foolish to expect anything good. It tempts you to protect your heart from more disappointment by simply giving up. My child, I want to arm you against this despair by redefining hope for you. The hope I give is not the world's wishful thinking. It is not a fragile, positive attitude you have to muster up. The hope I give is a confident, certain expectation based on my proven character and my unbreakable promises. It is a spiritual force. It is an anchor for your soul in the midst of the storm. I want you to see hope not as a candle flame, easily blown out by the winds of your circumstances. I want you to see it as a mighty lighthouse, built upon the solid rock of who I am. This powerful beam is fueled by the eternal fire of my promises. The storms of life may rage against it. The giant waves of your troubles may crash upon its walls, but it will not be moved, and its light will not be extinguished. This hope holds you fast and keeps you from being dashed against the rocks of despair. It is a light that you hold up, not just for yourself, but for others around you who have lost their way in the darkness. When you choose hope in a dark and impossible situation, you are doing more than just trying to be optimistic. You are engaging in a powerful, prophetic act. You are standing in the middle of your present darkness, looking it directly in the eye, and you are declaring with your faith that the darkness does not get the final say. You are testifying to a future reality of my goodness that is more real than your present circumstances. You are prophesying my inevitable victory into your situation. It is a declaration of war against despair. And I tell you this hope will not lead to disappointment. Why? Because it is not rooted in your circumstances changing, but in my love, which has already been poured into your heart by the Holy Spirit. Circumstances may shift and fail you, but my love never fails. So take up this weapon. Choose hope today. Let it be the anchor for your soul and the prophetic declaration of the victory that is already yours. You look at the world, you watch the news, and your heart grows heavy. You see so much God, so much injustice, so much pain. A deep fear can take root in your soul. The fear that darkness is winning, that evil is more powerful than good, that the story of this world is a tragedy spiraling out of control. My child, you are watching a grand and epic story, and you are in the middle of the most intense and difficult chapter. The hero seems to be in peril, the darkness appears to be advancing, and it feels like all could be lost. But I am the author and the director of this story. I have already written and witnessed the final scene, and I am leaning over to you now, in the middle of the frightening part, to whisper a spoiler in your ear. The light does not just win. It obliterates the darkness so completely that all of creation will rejoice. Do not lose heart. Every act of evil, every injustice, every moment of suffering you witness is the desperate, frantic thrashing of a temporary rebellion. The darkness is a power that has already been judged, sentenced, and its end has already been written. It may be loud and destructive, but its time is short. The ending of this story is not chaos. It is the glorious coronation of its one, true and rightful King, my Son, Jesus Christ. On that day, justice will not just be done, it will be seen to be done. Every knee will bow, and every tongue will confess that He is Lord. Every wrong will be made right. Every tear will be explained. And all creation will finally acknowledge that I am perfectly good, and my ways are perfectly righteous. You are not fighting for a cause that might win. You are participating in a victory that is a foregone conclusion. This truth must change the way you live. Live not as a fearful soldier in a desperate battle, but as a confident ambassador of a kingdom that is already victorious. Let this certainty fuel your endurance. When you are tired of fighting for what is right, remember the ending. When you are heartbroken by the world's pain, remember the ending. The victory is not in doubt. He is as certain as the rising of the sun. You are on the winning side. So, stand firm. Hold your head high. The King is coming, and His victory will be absolute and eternal. We have stood together at the end of all things and witnessed the absolute, inevitable victory of light. To leave now would be like knowing the outcome of the war but refusing to attend the hero's coronation. It would grieve my heart for you to know the ending of the grand story, but miss my final, most personal invitation to step into its glory. Your personal role in this great adventure is what I want to reveal now. Do not turn away. We have walked through so many deep truths together. Now, I want to give you an invitation that brings it all together. I invite you to see as I see. You have been living your life standing at the bottom of a great mountain, with your face pressed up against the rock. All you can see are the jagged edges, the loose stones, the dirt, the obstacles immediately in front of you. Your perspective is necessarily limited and often frightening. Today, I am extending my hand to you. I am inviting you to come with me, to let me lift you up to the summit. From here, from the perspective of eternity, the view changes completely. From this vantage point, you can see not just the rock face, but the entire, breathtaking landscape of your life. You can see the path you have traveled, and you can see how every twist and turn I have guided you through was leading you to this very spot. You can see the road that stretches out before you, leading to the glorious destination I have prepared. Those challenges that looked like impassable walls from below, you can now see from above, were the very steps that were leading you higher. I invite you to ask me every day to open your spiritual eyes, to give you this heavenly perspective. Pray this simple prayer: Father, help me to see my life, my challenges, and the people around me today as you see them. This change in perspective will change everything. I invite you to lay down your measuring stick of worldly success, the one marked with money, status, and recognition. It is a faulty tool that has brought you nothing but anxiety. In its place, I want you to pick up my standard, which has only one measurement: faithfulness. I invite you to see the people in your life, not for their frustrating flaws, but as the unfinished masterpieces I am creating them to be, and to treat them as such. And most importantly, I invite you to let go of your limited, often broken, narrative about your own life. Lay down the story you have told yourself, the one filled with shame, regret, and limitation. Lay it at my feet. And in its place, I want you to pick up the epic, heroic, and beautiful story that I have been writing for you all along. It is a story of redemption, of grace, of a purpose that echoes in eternity. This is who you truly are. This is the reality. Come up higher. See as I see. My child, after all that I have shown you, the grand tapestry of your life, the cosmic scope of my plan, the eternal security of my love, the result is not meant to be a mind overwhelmed, but a heart at peace. This bigger reality is not meant to intimidate you. It is meant to anchor you. You have spent so much of your life in a state of quiet, constant anxiety. It is the hum in the background of your days, the knot in your stomach when you think about the future, the frantic game of what if that your mind plays when you are trying to sleep. You believe peace is a calm, glassy lake, a condition that is only possible when there are no storms on the horizon. And so you spend all your energy trying to control the wind and the rain, an exhausting and impossible task. I want to give you my peace, and it is entirely different. It is a deep, unshakable submarine. The storm can rage on the surface of your life. The winds of circumstance can howl. The waves of bad news can crash. But deep beneath the turmoil, you can be safe, secure, and moving steadily forward in a profound and supernatural calm. My peace is not the absence of trouble. It is the overwhelming and profound presence of me in the midst of your trouble. When you truly understand my sovereignty, that I am the weaver of the tapestry and the author of the story, the chaos of the world loses its power over you. It can no longer terrorize your heart, because you know the one who has overcome the world is holding you. This peace is a gift. You cannot manufacture it. You receive it by entrusting every single outcome to me. It is the direct result of surrender. This peace is a guard that I will post at the door of your heart and mind. That constant churning in your soul, the frantic thoughts, that is the feeling of a heart without a guard, a field without an umpire. Every fear is allowed to run onto the field and cause chaos. But when you let my peace stand guard, it becomes the umpire of your heart. When a fearful thought tries to steal your joy, this peace stands up and declares, "You're out of here." When an anxious worry tries to dictate your decisions, this peace rules it out of bounds. Let this supernatural peace be the ruling principle of your life. Every time you feel that old anxiety begin to rise, see it as a signal to entrust that specific situation back into my hands. Then, breathe deeply and receive the gift I am so eager to give you, my perfect peace. My beloved child, as we come to the close of this conversation, I want to leave you with one final, transformative invitation. For too long, you have viewed your life with me as a set of rules to be followed, a list of do's and don'ts that feels restrictive and, if you are honest, sometimes dull. You have seen me as a distant deity, a heavenly king to be obeyed, but not as an intimate companion. You have seen your faith as a narrow, fenced-in hallway. It feels safe, but it lacks the thrill of a grand adventure. Today, I am inviting you to see the truth. That hallway door opens up into a vast, wild, and beautiful landscape, and your life with me is meant to be the greatest adventure you could ever imagine. The path is not always clearly marked. There are misty mountains to climb, dark valleys to navigate, and roaring rivers to cross. But you must understand, I am not the rubber posted on the wall back in the hallway. I am your expert guide, walking right beside you at every moment. I am the ever-present companion who knows the terrain perfectly, who will never leave your side, who holds your hand in the darkness, and who delights in pointing out the hidden wonders along the trail that you would miss on your own. Every single day holds the potential for new discoveries of my goodness, new revelations of my glory, and new depths of our relationship. The ultimate purpose of this grand adventure is not a destination on a map, or a list of mountains you have conquered for me. The greatest purpose of your life is not what you do, but who you become as you learn to walk with me, talk with me, and trust me through every twist and turn of the journey. You will become more courageous, more loving, more joyful, more like my son. That is the prize. That is the point of it all. So let go of your predictable, safe, and boring ideas about what a life of faith is supposed to look like. Let go of the need to know the whole map in advance. The path is uncertain, but your guide is all-knowing, all-powerful, and all-loving. Trust me, the most glorious chapters of your story are yet to be written. This is so much bigger than you have ever realized, and I promise you, it is immeasurably, breathtakingly good. Now, take my hand, my child. Let's begin. This grand adventure of walking with me is the greatest journey, and every expedition must be supplied. If your spirit leaps within you to join this great work of spreading my truth across the globe, then see this as your invitation to act. Your support is the provision that allows this message to blaze a trail into the wilderness of the human heart, reaching those who are lost and waiting. Your gift is the oil that keeps this lamp burning brightly for the nations to see. My word is true for you who sow into this good ground. You will reap what you sow, and he who supplies seed to the sower will also supply and increase your store of seed, and will enlarge the harvest of your righteousness. For every gift given, I will multiply your own provision for the grand adventure I have set before you. The journey is pressing onward. Partner with me to advance my kingdom now. Give through super thanks, become a member, or follow the link in the description below. My child, before this sacred moment fades, I call you to make your stand. This is more than a simple comment. It is a spiritual declaration that you are ready to see your life as I see it. With faith as your ink, write these words below for all the world and all of heaven to witness. My life is bigger than I realize. Let this be your anchor, a powerful testament that you are leaving your limited story behind for the epic I have written for you. Proclaim it now, and feel the shift in your spirit as you step into the boundless reality of your true purpose. Amen. If you believe in me, your Heavenly Father, then like this video and leave a heartfelt amen in the comments. If you want to stay closer to me, then subscribe to this channel.